Carroll in his 4th year as head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Well, they have been rolling. 9 straight regular season wins. Of course, one in the early round of the playoffs last year against Washington, and then the heartbreaker to Atlanta. And off to their first 4-0 start ever in Seattle. This team is rolling in all kinds of ways right now. And so are Chuck Pagano's Colts in his 2nd year. They're 3-1, playing great football, and almost feel like, John, this is a chance to legitimize them just a little bit here today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Indianapolis Colts have had this one circled on their calendar. They did it out in San Francisco 2 weeks. This would be another step in that direction. Seattle feels really good coming off that come-from-behind victory at Houston.
Seattle won the toss and elected to defer, so the Colts will start it off first. Stephen Hauschka will kick it off, and David Reed back deep for Indy. Reed leaping over a tackler, but still comes up shy of the 20. Jerron Johnson was there on the stop. And we will get our first look at Andrew Luck. Pretty impressive. First 20 regular season games in the league, replacing Peyton Manning, and he's 14-6, tying another great in John Elway.
Well, Kevin, I think what speaks to his greatness is that people really don't talk about Peyton Manning much in his development. He took a 2-14 team and he took them to 11-5 team and the playoffs in his first year with not a whole lot around him. Tremendous football player is Andrew Luck.
You saw Bruce Irvin, number 51, his first game of the year, back from a 4-game suspension. Luck looking for Richardson, but a little miscommunication. It's behind him. Starting lineup for the Colts, they get their center Samson Satelli back today. Thornton is the rookie at left guard, and they like to run it, that's for sure.
They absolutely do, and they love that offensive line. You see Trent Richardson, the guy that they went and got in the trade. Reggie Wayne, the great 13-year vet at the wide receiver position, still playing at a high level.
Here we go. Check out. Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll. 180!
And it's Richardson's first carry of the game on a 2nd and 10, and he gets swallowed up whole. Bruce Irvin making his presence felt, and he makes the tackle right there against this Seattle defense that comes in 2nd in the league in scoring.
Well, they come in and they come at you in waves. I love the versatility. You got Red Bryant playing defensive end at 330 pounds. Chris Clemens coming off an ACL on the other end. We just saw Bruce Irvin make a tackle. And then the fun part, watching these guys, the Legion of Boom. This secondary can flat out play some football. See Bruce Irvin coming off suspension, making plays already.
T.Y. Hilton in the game for Indy in the slot. He's their big play guy on a 3rd down. Pressure coming. Luck finding Wayne, but off the fingertips as Thomas was coming in to make the hit. And a 3-and-out for Indianapolis.
Well, you see right away Andrew Luck. He's 6'4", 240 pounds. You aren't just going to butt him down. Richard Sherman tried to impart on his teammates, you've got to tackle this guy. He extends the play, but tight coverage from Brandon Browner. Earl Thomas coming. That's what you'll see from Seattle. They're all over the opposing receivers.
Wobbly punts. And this is nowhere near Golden Tate. And already Seattle's going to start off with terrific field position. Pat McAfee did not get a great punt there. Russell Wilson playing behind an offensive line that is all kinds of banged up today, and that will be something to watch. Here's the week 1 starters for Seattle. Big left tackle Russell Okung, Zach Miller, their terrific tight end. And now look who's starting today. The only constant guy is the right guard, J.R. Sweezy. Bowie at right tackle, McQuiston at left tackle. Lemuel Jean-Pierre starts at center again. I mean, they allowed 5 sacks last week against Houston, John, and a ton of pressure. That's certainly going to be a matchup to look at.
Absolutely. And Chuck Pagano challenged this crowd in Indianapolis about being the best 12th man in the league. And they're showing up early.
And Marshawn Lynch on the first carry, the big chunk of yards and more. He's inside the 30. Marshawn Lynch on the first carry of the game picks up 24 before Darius Butler made the tackle.
Well, we visited with Pete Carroll yesterday, the head coach of the Seahawks. We asked him keys to win the game. He said one thing: run the football successfully. We got to do it to take the pressure off this patchwork offensive line. You're going to see a lot of Marshawn Lynch, and we saw him early.
1st and 10. Wilson. And he fires high that time. He was looking for Doug Baldwin. Well, you know, it's funny. The Seattle team comes in. They're 5th in the league in rushing, but off the meeting with the head coach Pete Carroll and some of the players, you get the feeling 5th is not good enough for them.
No, it's something they're very much committed to. They're going to be high in the rankings each year because of Russell Wilson's ability to gain some yardage at the quarterback position. But it's just a core belief of theirs. And as I mentioned, with this offensive line hurting, 2 All-Pros out, that's what you go to. You take pressure off those guys up front.
The Seattle team has been so much better on the road than people think lately. You saw 5-1 in the last 6. As Lynch gets out of 1 tackle and not the next few. Gang tackling by the Colts, and Marshawn Lynch is going to lose big yardage. Feely Moala was there first, but he got tons of help.
Not a lot of household names on this Indianapolis D, but here's one right here. It's Robert Mathis, and this is setting an edge right here. He's going to take the right tackle, Bowie. They get penetration. Robert Mathis comes and finishes it. That's what he is. He's a tremendous finisher. The league leader in sacks at 7.5 sacks coming in today.
Seahawks need to get to the 18, and they'll give it to Lynch. And Lynch has a nice run as he gets down to the 25-yard line. That's not going to be nearly enough for a first, but certainly in field goal range for Stephen Hauschka after a 9-yard carry.
Well, Kevin, I don't think Pete Carroll was lying when he told us a lot of Marshawn Lynch. Just about every play, either a run to Marshawn or a fake to Marshawn. It's going to be heavy in the game plan for the Seattle Seahawks today.
And now Stephen Hauschka, who is perfect on the year, 8 of 8, hit a 45-yard game winner in overtime to beat the Texans last week. This is from 42 yards out with his punter John Ryan holding. And Hauschka remains perfect. And Seattle has the early lead, 3-0 with 11:40 to go, first quarter from Indy. Seahawks strike first. Andrew Luck's turn when we come back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Seahawks on the board first thanks to their defense forcing a 3-and-out and then a 34-yard punt, and then Marshawn Lynch, heavy dose of that. Stephen Hauschka's 42-yard field goal. 3-0 as they will kick it away, and the Colts will get it for the second time. Hauschka gets the leg into it. This one sailing back, and Reed almost back on the end line is going to take it out. And Reed twice has taken it out from 9 yards deep and twice comes short of the 20. That is not going to work long term, that's for sure. And so Andrew Luck will take the field for the second time today under a brand new offensive coordinator this year in Pep Hamilton.
Absolutely, and he's a new face in Indianapolis, but a familiar one to Andrew Luck. He was the offensive coordinator, actually held the title that was named after Andrew Luck, the Andrew Luck offensive coordinator position at Stanford University. Andrew Luck said it came back really quick. Pep Hamilton says about Andrew, he's got a photographic memory. It came back really quick, but it was getting everybody else comfortable with the system, and it's worked well for the Colts early this season.
180!
That's Robert Hughes in motion. Backup fullback. Here's Richardson on a first down. And Richardson's not going to get much. We'll give him 2. Got out of the initial contact from Red Bryant, but not much running room over there. Well, they had an offense under Bruce Arians that was kind of bombs away, John. It's a little different this year under Pep Hamilton.
Absolutely. Bruce Arians, as he's always been, aggressive down the field type passer. And that's what Andrew Luck did, and he adapted quite well. Had an outstanding rookie year. This year, Pep Hamilton wanted to emphasize running the football and then the shorter passing game, and still throwing the ball downfield as well. And Andrew actually said that's a key to this game. These corners challenge it. We got to take our shots and hit them.
2nd and 8. Luck's coming near side to Darius Hayward-Bay, but it was short. Richard Sherman was there on the coverage, brings up 3rd down.
We saw Chris Clemens at the end of last season. He's working here against the left tackle Costanza. And great push from Chris Clemens. We saw the ACL injury at Washington. And Richard Sherman, as Andrew Luck said about his former teammate, the vociferous one, chatting already.
Colts came into this game 48% on third down, which is 4th in the league. They went a 3-and-out their first time. Blitz picked up, and Luck can't find T.Y. Hilton. In and out of the hands of Hilton. So a couple of passes short from Luck, a couple off the fingertips. What you get is 2 3-and-outs.
Yeah, you've seen some bad football from the Colts. You talked about the decisions on special teams to bring 2 balls out from the end zone. Bad field position. And I think interesting, I've seen twice now, Andrew Luck to Trent Richardson, little miscommunication. He was also waiting on Darius Hayward-Bay, a new receiver for Andrew Luck. So not clicking yet, no rhythm for the Indy offense thus far.
Pat McAfee, 5th year out of West Virginia, will punt it away to Golden Tate. This one much better than the first. From the 22 is Tate, and he puts together a nice little return. The Seahawks will once again have good field position. Well, this Seahawks defense has been playing well all year. They're fired up right now. 3-0. They're in front of the Colts.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Second possession for Seattle. That gives you an idea just how good they've been under Pete Carroll. Their worst loss is by a touchdown to their division rival. They're up 3-0 early, and here's Marshawn Lynch, who has running room again. First down across midfield. He's already down to the 45-yard line. 4 carries already going to Marshawn Lynch. That one for 19 yards. Yeah, it's clear Seattle wants to run the ball today.
Well, they're going to go to the read option. He's reading Robert Mathis. Robert Mathis gets up the field. That's an easy read for Russell Wilson. You see that hole, it's huge. You give Marshawn Lynch that much room, he's going to make you pay. Excellent execution and great read by Russell Wilson.
Lynch already 4 carries, 47 yards. Robert Turbin is in the game now, though, the second-year man from Utah State. Blitz coming. Wilson eludes. And he's going to pick up a couple yards. We have our first game break of the day. Kurt Menefee has it.
Well, from Russell Wilson to David Wilson. The Giants running back gets in the end zone from 5 yards out. His first touchdown of the season. The Giants' first lead since week 2. They're up 7-0 over the Eagles. Kevin, John, and Aaron.
And the double backflip.
The double. I've seen the single. I haven't seen the double.
That was impressive.
I think they've had a lack of touchdowns for the Giants this year, so he said, let's bring out 2.
Marshawn Lynch back in the game at tailback after the one-play breather. Sidney Rice in the slot. And they give it to Lynch for his 5th carry. And again, big chunk of yardage. And Lynch fighting forward. He's going to be close to a first down. Greg Toller came up to make the tackle. But this is a big-time dose of Marshawn Lynch early on in this game.
And I tell you what, this doesn't look like a patchwork offensive line that's missing 2 All-Pros. I mean, these are gaping holes, and you're seeing Robert Mathis and this Indianapolis D get up the field too much. That opens up these lanes. And Marshawn Lynch, as I said before, he's got tremendous vision, tremendous balance and burst. He's going to kill you if you give him that much space.
Robert Turbin now gives Lynch a spell in the backfield. Marshawn Lynch already 53 yards. This time it's Turbin getting the rock, and he's off left guard for a couple, down to about the 31.5-yard line. You know, we see Marshawn Lynch getting the work here early, but this team is led by Russell Wilson, who has just been fabulous, just beginning his 2nd year. Won a playoff game last year, and I think you said it in the open, John. All he does is win. That's
all he does, and boy, he makes it look easy. It's not supposed to look this easy in your rookie year, in your 2nd year, and you see why when you meet with him. Such a confident young man, and he's a worker. He's a grinder at this game.
Wilson going to throw it here and has a completion. Golden Tate with a nice spin move, and Golden Tate has a first down for Seattle. He's down to the 20. Vontae Davis on the tackle, and the Seahawks on the move.
You see the throw, a hallmark of Russell Wilson, the accuracy. That gives Golden Tate the time to put his move on Vontae Davis right there. Golden Tate, a fabulous runner once he gets the ball in his hands. Yards after the catch, huge with Golden Tate.
Well, the Seahawks spread out. Marshawn Lynch is a wide out to the top of your screen now. And a 1st and 10 for Wilson. And he's got a lot of room to run. And Russell Wilson inside the 10. He's going to set up a 1st and goal. Jarrell Freeman was there in pursuit, but it's almost too easy on the ground right now for Seattle.
Well, again, another big hole. And again, it's Robert Mathis flying up the field. You're going to fly up the field that much. Just too much space for Russell Wilson. This offensive line doing a tremendous job early. You see Russell Wilson. He looks downfield. Not there. Go ahead. Take off. Eyes always down the field. Looking for receivers. That time he sees so much green, he takes it off and runs.
Seattle's averaging 8.3 yards a play early on a 1st and goal. It's Lynch. And he tries to bounce outside but can't go anywhere. Antoine Bethea came up to force Lynch out of bounds.
Corey Redding, he's going to be right here. You watch him get the push working against the rookie offensive tackle, Bowie. And then here comes the rest of the posse. Now, Kevin, this is a defense for Indy that's been hot. They've given up 10 points in the last 2 games, no touchdowns in the last 7 quarters. So it's a unit that's playing very good coming into today. Today it hasn't looked so pretty.
2nd and goal. Lynch has a man open, and he's got himself a touchdown. Golden Tate, touchdown Seattle. And we have a flag, I believe, on the far side of the field, too. The flags are pink this week in recognizing, awareness for breast cancer.
There is no foul for holding on the play. Result of the play, the touchdown.
Watch Golden Tate working against Greg Toller. Sells the inside move, spins Toller around. Golden Tate, fabulous move. And again, another accurate throw from Russell Wilson. Seahawks clicking early. The Colts are not.
And Seattle has this crowd silenced in Indianapolis. It's been really too easy. 2 possessions for them. They've gone right down the field. Seahawks already with 92 total yards. And for Golden Tate, his first touchdown of the year. Hauschka's extra point is good, and 6:14 to go in the first quarter. All Seahawks so far. Golden Tate on the receiving end from Russell Wilson. It's 10-0. Hawks over the Colts. Andrew Luck's turn. He's got an early deficit to deal with.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. By KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, Seattle has dominated early. 92 yards to the Colts 2. Golden Tate, his first touchdown catch of the year, and shocking this Colts team early on. Hauschka kicks it off, and this time Reed will take a knee. Indianapolis Colts had allowed 10 points the last 2 weeks. They're 10 points down right now as Russell Wilson feeling it. Chuck Pagano has to rally the troops from Indy. Well, you see the Seahawks, who couldn't do anything against the Texans in Houston in the first half last week. What did they do today? A lot better than they did last week, that's for sure. 92 total yards of the Colts 2, and it's 10-0. And Chuck Pagano, he is even keeled. He is relaxed. But John, when you come in, you say we're going to run the ball. We're a running team with Trent Richardson. You stick with that early here?
Oh, absolutely. We got a lot of football to be played.
Yeah.
A lot of football. You stick with your game plan. And one of the things Chuck Pagano said he loves about Andrew Luck, doesn't matter how he starts. He's an even-keeled guy. He's going to stick with the process. He'll grind it out. He's got a lot of trust in the young man.
Donald Brown in the backfield now, though, for Richardson, 5th-year man out of UConn. Luck dumps it to Brown, trying to sprint past Earl Thomas. That's hard to do. Earl Thomas, one of the fastest defensive backs in the league, and a gain of 3 on first down.
Well, you make a great point, Kevin. The speed. Earl Thomas working right here. This defense is so fast. Look at him hang back. He's reading the eyes, and then boom, he's on Donald Brown, all over him. Nowhere for Donald Brown to go. Earl Thomas, I just love this kid, the way he plays the safety position. He flies around the field. Tremendous football player.
Brown stays in the game. He had 3 carries for 65 yards in the win over Jacksonville last week, including a 50-yard run. Get it to Brown again. Thomas tried to blow that play up, but Brown stays on his feet across the 25. Richard Sherman made the tackle. A 3rd and short is coming up.
You got Earl Thomas on the right last time. Now you're going to see him fly out of the corner of your screen. So reminiscent of Troy Polamalu, the way he flies around the field. He's the fastest player on the field every time he takes it. I don't care what kind of 40 he runs on the football field. This guy moves at a faster rate than everybody else.
Richard Sherman told us the Legion of Boom, that's what they call their secondary. He said, we take it seriously. We think we're the best out there. And they proved it.
I agree with him.
3rd and 3. And Luck can't connect with Reggie Wayne. Second time today, Wayne's had his fingers on a football and hasn't hauled it in. And again, the Colts will punt it away.
Well thrown football by Andrew Luck. And Reggie Wayne, a sure-handed receiver as there is in the league. But you see the length. Bobby Wagner typifies what John Schneider, the GM in Seattle, believes. He wants long, rangy players, and that length serves him well as he gets a fingertip on that football.
Golden Tate back waiting to receive. He's got a 33-yard punt return to his credit on the year. And they block it. The Seahawks come and get it. It's loose. If Seattle sits on it, it's a score. Johnson, did he keep it in bounds? It's a safety. He knocked it out of bounds. He couldn't keep it in bounds for the touchdown. Jermaine Kearse was the guy who blocked it. Teron Johnson couldn't get it for the touchdown, but the Seahawks get 2. What a start. Let's watch. Did he keep it in?
Does he have possession? I think the ball's loose. I think the official gets that exactly right. Remember, this will automatically be reviewed as all scoring plays are reviewed. But it appears as if he has control. But at the end of the play, that ball starts moving a little bit. I think this play will stand.
I'll tell you, on that angle, I'm a little bit more convinced, to be honest.
But watch this other angle. It looks as if the ball is moving right here at the end. Right there, the ball's moving.
As we review that, it's been a dominant performance from Seattle. Well, we know the Seahawks have a punt block and a safety. The question is, do they have a touchdown? Mike Pereira, what do you see back from L.A.?
Well, I'll tell you, this is a really close one. The right hand is on the ball, but it looks like it might slide off. Take a look here. Does it slide off and go to the left hand eventually? So you have some movement of the ball, as John referred to. I kind of think it's one of these that you leave alone, but it's a very, very close call. When Ron Winter's going to look at this frame by frame, actually, and he'll see what he can see. Watch here. Right hand goes on the ball, but eventually the left hand is going to have to come and corral it. I'm not sure that there really is enough in my mind to overturn the original call on the field, but very close.
Hey, Mike, you mentioned frame by frame. Like when they look at catches, they tell them to look at it as if it were in real speed. Is that how they would look at this, the same way?
No, because when you're talking about a boundary line, you're not talking about maintaining possession and then the ball getting knocked loose. So this one, they're gonna run it frame by frame to see if they can A, establish possession, and then B, where he is on the field, and then to see as he's moving toward the end line whether the ball does move around. And so, you know, this is not one where it's did he maintain possession long enough, perform an act common to the game. That's when they look at it, in real speed.
All right, Mike, so we will see what Ron Winter says. John, I agree with you. And the Colts, bottom line, whatever they call here, the Colts are a mess to start this game off, and special teams has killed them early on.
And we mentioned in the open, that was going to be critical in this game. Two closely matched teams, and they've been awful thus far. You're going to see Kearse come right over the middle. He sets a pick, and Donald Brown's going to come off on Johnson. He picks, and then he rolls, just like you would see Karl Malone, the pick and roll. That's what they execute. And Kearse goes and gets the block, and tremendous hustle by Johnson to go get it. Does it stand? We will see.
We're in Indianapolis. I think you have to use Antonio Davis and Reggie Miller on that analogy, John. So just throwing it out there.
They are big Pacer fans here.
By the way, Jerron Johnson, good to have him back. He's been inactive.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a safety.
I think Ron Winter and his crew got it right. I mean, a tough, tight call, but I agree. I think that's the right
I think
call.
that ball was moving, and the ball's moving at all, as Mike explained so eloquently. They aren't going to call that a touchdown, so good call by the officials. And let me tell you, the Seahawks, this is impressive. They went to Houston last week. They fly all the way back to Seattle. Jimmy talked about it in the pregame, how tough it is 2 weeks in a row to go out against good football teams. And for Pete Carroll to have these guys clicking this early, this well, that's big-time football. This team's really mature, and they're doing it without a lot of their key players as well.
And Jerron Johnson is an active special teams player. He had been out the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. He, off a punt block last year, had a touchdown against the Cowboys. He seems to be around the ball in those instances. And now, Seahawks up 12-zip, get the ball back after the free kick. And the Colts, who had allowed 10 points total the last 2 weeks, have to steady the ship. It's Tate coming up to field the free kick. And Golden Tate, a good return, fumbles the ball, but it goes out of bounds, and the Seahawks will keep it. Let's go down the field, check in with Aaron Andrews.
Well, you saw the shot of the Colts on the sideline, kind of huddling up, trying to talk, almost wake up a little bit, Kevin. You know, after the offense returned to the sideline with the blocked punt there, it was like they were just kind of staring into space. Nobody really had anything to say. Reggie Wayne went and sat by himself. Andrew Luck went over and talked to some of the offensive linemen. Everybody just kind of looking around. It was that huddle there when everybody kind of came back alive and started talking a little bit.
And that's a very interesting point. You know, here the Colts, they're home. Chuck Pagano is urging them, get the crowd into it, let's go. Well, it's hard to get the crowd into it when you're getting dominated right now.
You got to give them something to cheer about. We'll see if this defense can start to change the fortunes right here.
Marshawn Lynch is 53 yards rushing already. This time it's Wilson on the keeper, and Wilson going to get up to the 45. Kurt Menefee has the game break.
And how about this? Special teams problem for Tennessee as well. Damian Williams has the punt go off his leg. It's muffed. Marcus Cooper recovers in the end zone for the Chiefs, and KC has a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Kevin, John, and Eric.
Kurt, we appreciate you keeping in with our broadcast. Nice, the theme there, the special teams, it's kind of working.
That's what good teams do. They play well in all phases. Seahawks are certainly doing it early today.
Again, Wilson on the read option, keeps, flops down, and that's going to be a loss of a couple yards as Terrell Freeman was there on the tackle. And it's interesting watching these couple read option plays. Let's see how going that route.
Well, when you watch Terrell Freeman, tremendous job here, because that's what the read option is all about, to get defenders like him in space, to bring Russell Wilson down in space. Great job by this guy right here. You're in space, what you going to do? Well, he makes Russell Wilson go to the ground. Tremendous play from a guy who came from the Canadian Football League.
Now the crowd's into it on a 3rd and 10. Wilson has Baldwin across midfield, but he's going to be shy of a first down. And it looks like no hesitation from Pete Carroll, the early lead, to punt it away. Boy, thought maybe with the momentum he's had, try to keep it going, but he's going to pin the Colts deep.
And the Seahawks will likely pin the Colts deep, but a big win for the NDD. They needed something good to happen for this team to get them back in this game, and there it was, getting off on a 3-and-out.
T.Y. Hilton, long return of 23 this year, if we'll even get a chance to return this one off of John Ryan. And Hilton calls a fair catch. Colts will start off at their 15 with work to do. Andrew Luck says, we're all right. Down 12, though, here in the first. Fox tonight, the scariest night of the year comes early to animation domination. The all-new Halloween episodes, including the epic Simpsons, as always, Treehouse of Horror, all new tonight starting at 7, 6 Central on Fox. That's the best Simpsons episode of the year, let's be honest. Pete Carroll with Russell Wilson. Up 12-0. Everything going smoothly for Seattle. But I'll tell you what. You see Seattle on defense been very stingy, John, but that was a big victory by Indy to get a stop on that last possession after the safety.
Absolutely, and pumped a little juice into this crowd. We'll see if the offense can take advantage of it.
Andrew Luck is 1 of 6 so far for 3 yards. We get some movement. Clemens jumps, and that may be an offsides on him. We'll see. Meanwhile, Indy's drives have been way back in their own territory.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 72. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Actually, Michael Bennett jumped first. Here's Indy's starting drives, John. The 18, the 17, the 20, and the 16. That's tough.
It's a veteran move right there by Andrew Luck. It looked like an old Indy quarterback in Peyton Manning. The hard count from the shotgun, taking advantage of an aggressive Seattle defensive line.
Let it roll. 180!
First and 5 to get Reggie Wayne involved, and Wayne is going to skirt his way out just a little shy of the first down. Earl Thomas on the tackle picks up 4.
I like that right there. That's Pep Hamilton trying to get his quarterback in some rhythm. So what do? You give him an easy throw to one of your best players, and Reggie Wayne gets Andrew's confidence going, gets Reggie involved in the game early. Nice job by Pep Hamilton.
Indianapolis just looking for something. You know, when you give up 10 points total in 2 weeks, and when you're used to being ahead, and all of a sudden you get an uppercut to the jaw, doesn't really tell a lot about this 3-1 Colts team. 2nd and 1.
180!
Pressure, and Luck tries to go back door and find Robert Hughes, but it's a little behind him.
This is Richard Sherman. He talked about the art of the press, looking right between the 8 and the 1. And then once he establishes his release, Richard Sherman said he just limited his option, covers Andrew Luck, goes first read, second read, then to his third read, Robert Hughes. There is Hayward Bay saying, I'm open. You are not open.
Thanks for clarifying that, John. 3rd and 1 now.
180!
Richardson bounces off a tackle, has the first down. And the crowd likes it here in Indianapolis. Just looking for something to applaud. He picks up 2.
Well, Kevin, they made the big trade for Trent Richardson. Gave up a lot for him. He's only got a 2.9-yard average thus far. They couldn't be higher on him. They think he brings exactly what they need, much like Marshawn Lynch. He's a guy who embodies toughness, physicality, going to break tackles. They feel like, hey, we're throwing the body blows. At some point, the knockout's going to come with Trent Richardson.
Luck's going to air it out. He's got his man Hilton. He's got it. T.Y. Hilton. Touchdown, Indianapolis. 73 yards, and that'll get you back in the game.
Well, there's the break that Indy needed. They got some rhythm going offensively. Andrew Luck talked about the shots, the opportunity. They had to hit some shots. Take a look at his foot going down the sidelines. Does it stay in? Yes, it does. Great job by T.Y. Hilton with the catch, and then straddling the sidelines for the touchdown.
That's a career long for T.Y. Hilton on the 73-yard score. His first touchdown of the year. And what did Andrew Luck tell us on Friday, John? You asked him the keys of the game. He said, they're going to play press coverage. We have got to take our shots and hit them. Well, they just did. It's also a career long for Luck. Vinatieri puts the 7 on the board for Indianapolis, and we've got ourselves a game.
Credit and a big assist to offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton. Look at the reduced split of T.Y. Hilton. What that does, it takes Richard Sherman off the press coverage, then allows a free release. You're going to see the corner route without Richard Sherman in the press. And what a throw by Andrew Luck. He puts it on the money. T.Y. Hilton does the rest. Cannot throw the football any better. The reduced split frees him up, gives him some space. Andrew Luck, what a beautiful thrown pass. Great job by Pep Hamilton. You want to get Richard Sherman, those guys off to go to some reduced split, go to some bunch formations. Gives those guys outside some freedom, some breathing air. Then Andrew Luck, kid special, he'll do the rest.
Andrew Luck is all kinds of fired up after his longest touchdown pass of his career. And under Pep Hamilton, the thought has been, well, wait a second, Bruce Arians left. This team used to throw it down the field. Why don't they do it anymore? Number one, they're trying to protect their quarterback who got sacked an awful lot. Number two, they still can do it.
Absolutely.
And Seattle will take a knee as Kearse kneels down in the end zone. Colts badly needed that. T.Y. Hilton's first touchdown of the year, his 8th career. Luck to throw with pressure in his face, and we do have a flag on the field. Gotta tell you, it's a little weird looking for the pink flags, John. I'm not used to that. Looking for the yellow.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, number 38 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, the first down.
It's on Sergio Brown. Didn't see it on the initial play. Obviously, he doesn't agree with it.
Just can't do it. Big emphasis by the NFL about taunting. He got in his face. You can't do it. It hurts your team. That's a selfish play on behalf of Sergio Brown. And he's hearing from it from Chuck Pagano.
You just build momentum. You know, you're getting dominated for most of the game, and you get right back in it, and then you give Seattle the ball on their own 35.
And I'll tell you one thing. Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, they just got a little good punch from the Colts. This guy will not run. He's coming right back at you.
Another fake to Lynch. Anger in pursuit. He lets it fly a little over the head of Doug Baldwin.
I should say he will not run from the punch. He will run. As Houston, we just asked them. He will run and run well.
Well, he will, right? I mean, last week against the Texans, he had 77 yards rushing, but the key is he didn't run until he had to. 74 of those yards were in the fourth quarter because they needed it.
Yeah, he said, Marshawn Lynch, we asked him, what was the moment you said, I got to go put this on my shoulders? It said he and Marshawn on the sidelines. Marshawn said, hey, buddy, we got to go do this thing, you and I. Russell said, I took over.
They were down 20-6 in that game with 8 minutes to play and won. On a second down. Pressure coming. And he escapes again. Russell Wilson is loose. Into Colts territory, down at the 45-yard line. He picks up 19.
Well, on cue, Russell Wilson. Here it is last week versus the Houston Texans. The team needed him to make some plays. It wasn't happening. The offensive line was struggling. Looks like Roger Staubach, like Fran Tarkenton. Back there, Steve Young making plays. Tremendous instinct and feel for where rushers are. And there we see it live and in person here today. Finds ways to get out of the pocket, positive yards. It moves the chains.
Should be the last play of the first quarter. On a first down, it's Lynch. Nice cut. But all that work for just a 2-yard gain that time as Kavil Connor came up and made the stop. And that should take us to the end of quarter number 1. Entertaining, to say the least. Seattle with the safety. They're up 12-7 on the Colts. NFL on Fox returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Seahawks in front of the Colts 12-7 as we start quarter number 2. And you look at the numbers, it's a lot closer considering that Seattle started out outgaining Indy 92-2, and we're in complete control of this game. Despite all that, they've got the 5-point lead. Good field position on a 2nd and 8 to start off the second. Blitz picked up, and they get it out to Sidney Rice for his first catch of the game. Rice diving towards a first down. He may have it here. It was Greg Toller out there on the coverage.
You know, in talking to the Indianapolis Colts, Chuck Pagano, Robert Mathis, their outstanding linebacker who's leading the league in sacks, they talked about Russell Wilson. Chuck Pagano said a nightmare. Robert Mathis says a problem. Here's why. He's running all over, but yet he's a tremendous passer and can accurately throw the ball. So he truly is a dual threat. That moniker is thrown around too much. This guy is a legitimate dual threat.
Not much running room for Marshawn Lynch that time. Pat Anger was out there to make the stop. You just heard Chuck Pagano say, let's go. Trying to fire his team up. Gain of 4. This Colts team, when you look at defensively, you go down and just read the names on paper and you say, well, wait a second, they're 4th scoring defense in the league. They've just been good as a collective unit.
Yeah, it reminds you of the old Dolphin, the no-name defense, you know, Robert Mathis, household name. Not a lot of household names on this defense, but they're playing at a high level. Not so much today, but throughout this season, they've been very good.
On a 2nd and 6. And Lynch doesn't go anywhere. Good pursuit by Indianapolis. Corey Redding got a hat in there, as well as a few others. Just a 2-yard gain.
Here's a great job. We talked to Chuck Pagano about the job of their defense. He said, do your job, get to the football, and arrive with a bad attitude. Here's a great example of it right now. The Colts arriving with a bad attitude.
Marshawn Lynch had over 50 yards on his first 3 carries. He's now 9 carries for 62 yards. But it's Robert Turbin in the game at tailback on a 3rd down. Wilson in trouble, tries a little shuttle pass. That's not going to get it done. Incomplete. Seahawks in Stephen Hauschka field goal territory, and they will trot out that unit to try a long one here.
Tremendous job by Eric Walden right there, stringing out Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson typically can get the edge, turn the corner on people. Right there, Eric Walden did not let him. Russell had no other decision other than throw the football away.
Hauschka hit a 42-yarder. This would be a 48-yarder, which would match his season long. And this one is blocked, and Indy picks it up. Delano Howell. Howell still on his feet. He's going to score. What a turn of events in Indianapolis. Delano Howell, the free agent out of Stanford, who's been elevated to starting safety the last 2 weeks, makes an enormous play.
Well, let's look and see who got a hand on it. Who is that? I can't see who that is.
Is that Ricardo Matthews?
That's who it is, I
think
believe.
It's Ricardo Matthews.
But I'll tell you one thing. Delano Howell just saved himself a lot of grief because the punter, who was the holder, almost caught him. And that would have not gone over well in the locker room. He got to the end zone, though, and that's what counts.
Indianapolis has made 5 special teams errors in this game, but that'll make up for it. Delano Howell, the 61-yard punt block return. And just like that, Indianapolis in front.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach this football season. And by Windows.
Well, to say this game has changed in a heartbeat would be an understatement. First blocked field goal return for a touchdown since 2004 against Tennessee. And we looked at the replays again. It was actually Lawrence Guy who got the block. And then Delano Howell returned it 61 yards. And Indianapolis, which was getting dominated early, is now up 14-12 as Curse on the kick return gets stopped short of the 20. Let's take a look at Delano Howell's return of the field goal block.
First of all, it's Lawrence Guy. Keep your eye on him right there. He's going to get the hand up. Outstanding job. But I mentioned before the break, Delano Howell is a happy man because that guy right there, the punter, he almost caught him. Now, if that happens in the locker room, he's not allowed back in the locker room on Monday. So him getting by John Ryan right there, Delano Howell's a happy man, and they're going to give him grief nonetheless. But the bottom line, touchdown Colts. What a play by Lawrence Guy, and what a finish by Delano Hall.
Unbelievable, right? I mean, here the Colts say it a bad punt, punt block. They're taking kicks out from 9 yards deep, but then it's special teams that gets him in front. And now this crowd's going to be into it. Fake to Lynch. Wilson in trouble. Fires on the run at Golden Tate. And no catch. They say Tate did not have possession inbounds. Vontae Davis was there on the coverage.
Well, there's an example of Russell Wilson. He's going to scramble, but his eyes are always going to be downfield looking for a receiver. He throws a dart to Golden Tate. Golden Tate uncharacteristically does not bring the football in. That's a ball he's got to catch.
Here's Lynch on a 2nd and 10. And he breaks free. Marshawn Lynch stumbled at the end. I think he's just shy of a first down. He is so tough to bring down on that initial hit.
Here's the read option. And another big hole. And watch Greg Toller. He is holding on for dear life, waiting for his buddies. And Marshawn Lynch keeps those legs going as he does so well. He's so strong. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I tried to tackle this man in my career. That's a strong man right there and does a great job of keeping the legs going.
It is a first down for Seattle as Turbin in the game gets the carry.
You know, the first, I think it was Marshawn Lynch's rookie year. I was a member of the Denver Broncos, and we played them in Buffalo. I'll never forget the game because it's the game Kevin Everett had the neck injury. But the first play of the game, I came from deep safety, popped him. I got him good. And Marshawn got up. I keep telling him we're cousins. I keep telling him we're cousins. And we've had a great deal with that ever since. My cousin, Marshawn Lynch.
Well, I'll say this, John. You both hit like Mack Trucks. So maybe you are related. 2nd down and 8. And Wilson finds Baldwin for a Seattle first down. Well, Pete Carroll against Marshawn Lynch. We were talking about the running game and about Lynch, and I thought he had a perfect quote to us yesterday. He said, the run game is really important to us. It closes the circle on toughness as a part of our team.
Yeah, and he was talking about Marshawn Lynch specifically in the style of running. I played with a guy in Tampa named Mike Allstott, and let me tell you, when he's breaking those tackles, running people over, that lifts an entire sidelines. So it's not just the production, it's the way he does it that is a big lift to the Seattle football team.
Wilson looking for Tate. What a catch by Golden Tate, and a flag. And that one's coming back. Darius Butler.
Pass interference. Offense number 81. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, you see Golden Tate working against Darius Butler. Let's look for the push. Wow. That's a subtle push, and that's one that usually is not called. As an old DB, I kind of like it, but that's not one you see too often. That's subtle of a push inside the framework of his body. Not often called, but they call it nonetheless.
How often do you see an offensive pass interference when the guy lays out for a ball? I mean, it's
usually got to be obvious. That was not obvious.
That's a tough call, and that's a big play. And instead of a gain down to the Colts 30, it's a 1st and 20. And Seattle goes to the ground again with Robert Turbin, his 3rd carry of the day. Freeman and Butler come up to make the stops.
We were talking to Darrell Bevel, the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, about the read option, which we're seeing a a high number of snaps. And he said, we dabbled in it a little in 2012. Don't want to do it as much. It put Russell in peril. And here they are. It's the staple of their offense today. They found something they liked, and they're going after it.
I believe that's being called being sold a bill of goods. That's what that is. 2nd and 12. Colts come blitz. Buffet coming at Wilson, but they get some room to the rookie tight end, Wilson. And he's got a big carry. There is a penalty flag down in the middle of the field. Wilson's got a first down if it holds, a 17-yard game. Remember that Zach Miller, the real good tight end for Seattle, is out with a hamstring injury.
That's not a flag. That's a pink towel that Ron Winter picks up. And this is frankly the problem with these pink towels. They look the same. The players are wearing them. 20 takes it off Doug Baldwin's hip, and we think it's a flag. It's just Doug Baldwin's top.
1st and 10, Seahawks. And Turbin gets stood up pretty good, picks up one. Abrea Franklin on the stop. Kurt Menefee has our latest game break.
And the Philadelphia Eagles have a lead against the Giants. The Sean McCoy 1-yard run. 13-7, Eagles on top. Kevin, John, and Aaron, I'm sure you know the Eagles win. The Cowboys lose to Denver later today. Phillies tied for first place.
Well, Kurt, the Giants have been 0-5 since '87. That was the strike here, and that's what they're facing if they lose today. Seahawks going 5 wide on this 2nd down and 9. Blitz again picked up. Wilson skirts up the middle for a decent gain. He's going to get down to the 36-7-yard gain. Colts coming with a lot of pressure against this banged-up offensive line.
You take a look at this. There's a perception out there that the Seahawks aren't a good road team. That's not reality. The reality is in their last 6, 5-1. We talked to Russell Wilson about that. He said, look, I've always been a fast starter. I've always been a great finisher. It was that the ebbs and flows, plays 25 to 40, 2nd and 3rd quarter, that as a rookie, I was struggling. I was making some stupid plays. I learned you got to be smarter in that juncture of the game, this juncture right here. And that's where he says he's learned to become a better road quarterback.
3rd and 3. And Wilson over the middle, incomplete. Doug Baldwin looking for a flag, but there is none to be had. Looked like Seattle had some issues, too. Sidney Rice, I don't think could tell the play with the crowd getting loud here in Indy.
This is a tremendous play by Vontae Davis. Takes the inside position. Little contact, but I think it's just at the right time. That's a great play by Vontae Davis.
Kind of no man's land with the ball at the 37 on this 4th and 3, and the Seahawks are going to go. They're 2 of 3 on 4th down so far this year.
A play like this, you would expect for them to get Russell Wilson possibly out of the pocket and see what he can do with the run or pass.
Pressure again, and Russell Wilson makes it happen. Oh, he is so good at getting out of that pressure, and it keeps the drive alive.
This is just trusting in your quarterback, putting it in his hands. You got a big 4th down play. Go with the play action, understanding that Russell Wilson can go back. If it's not there, go ahead, use your legs, your ability to move the chains, and that's exactly what Russell Wilson does. He delivers once again for Pete Carroll.
You know, it's clear with the offensive line having the issues and all these starters out that Wilson's going to use his legs. That's his 7th carry, 43 yards already, and a lot of that is just getting out of pressure. Drive continues on a 1st down. Here's Marshawn Lynch breaking through a couple tackles and fighting inside the 30. We talked to Russell Wilson yesterday about, what's difficult on the road. When you studied your year last year, what did you find that was difficult? He said, plays 25 through 40, John. That was the part he wanted to improve. We're in that part.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where he felt like early on as a rookie, he started making some plays that weren't the most intelligent. And he said, really got to focus in at that point in the game. Pete Carroll, they've changed that from a perception that's out there to reality that they're a darn good road team. And again, I would say just go ask the Houston Texans.
12th play of the drive. And this is the 34th play for Seattle. Wilson going for the end zone. Curse with a nice grab. Touchdown. He beat Vontae Davis. It's a 28-yard score, and Seattle back in front. Second touchdown of the year for Jermaine Kearse.
Well, Russell Wilson said about Jermaine Kearse the other day, he's much like Sidney Rice, a guy that I feel very comfortable throwing those 50-50 balls up for. And Jermaine Kearse continues to earn that trust from Russell Wilson. What a play, going up and getting that ball. Beautiful pass by Russell Wilson. See the concentration, eyes on the ball, game of inches. Barely misses Vontae Davis's right hand. See if he gets in. We'll review that like all scoring plays.
I think he's in. I think that ball was at the goal line before that leg went out of bounds. And not Javon, he was the pass rusher. Jermaine Kearse, that is. Second-year man out of Washington. Was a free agent last year.
Look, both feet are down for sure. And now we're going to see where's that left arm and where is the ball as he starts to look at that left foot. Now, is the ball across the plane of the goal line right there? Hard to tell from that angle.
I think he's 100% in. I mean, that foot didn't go out of bounds till late. Foot's still in. Foot's still in. Touchdown.
Touchdown. That's a touchdown when that right foot's down.
Well, this has been a wild game. They will review that to make sure Kearse is in, but it would put Seattle back in front. This should be the second touchdown of the year for second-year man Jermaine Kearse. Russell Wilson going up top for a 28-yard score, and Wilson was tremendous on a 12-play drive that went 82 yards, lasted over 7 minutes. Wilson was 3 of 5 for 56 passing, 2 big carries for 11 yards, and of course, John, the fourth down conversion. Wilson has been outstanding, eluding the rush all day.
Absolutely, and that's one thing you know about Russell Wilson. We saw it last week, vintage Russell Wilson in Houston. People throw body blows at him. He's going to come right back at you. He will not run away. He'll run too. And here's Ron Winter.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a touchdown.
What an answer for Seattle after the field goal block, return for a touchdown by Delano Howell. Got the Colts crowd in a frenzy. All they do is go on a 12-play drive to retake the lead. And using their fourth wide receiver to do it. Don't forget that Kearse was the guy that had the block on the punt as well. That set up the safety by Johnson. Hauschka up, extra point, good. Wild one in Indianapolis, and the Seahawks back in front. Kearse a happy man.
Today's game is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Seattle's offense has been, well, let's say a tad better than they were against the Texans last week. I mean, they've got 133 yards today. That's in the first half. Last week total, they couldn't get much going at all. And how about the time of possession? As they'll kick it off. Last week total, they had 270 yards against Houston. That's in the comeback win. Reed on the return. And again, David Reed will not even make it to the 20-yard line. I don't know why he keeps running it out. At some point, he's going to learn not to do that.
You talk about that first half in Houston last week, and you see the first 4 possessions today. You know what happened to him in Houston last week? A guy named J.J. Watt. My goodness, I'm studying the tape. This guy is so dominant. What a football player. But they figured him out. Russell Wilson, that was a big reason he decided, I better not stay in this pocket. I got to take off and make something happen.
I think the last time I saw offensive linemen get thrown around like rag dolls like that was when Reggie White played. I mean, it's absurd how good J.J. Watt is. And now the Colts down by 5 with 5:51 to go in the half. Trying to get Richardson going, and that is not going to work. Clemens was there to make the initial stop. He got some help from his teammates, though.
One thing I know about this Seattle defense, they are fast. Running to the edge is not a good recipe for success against these guys. They're long. They run extremely well. Not a good plan for Pep Hamilton and the Indianapolis Colts. Run it right down their throat is the recipe for success against the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Second and 13.
160.
for Andrew Luck. Pressure coming. Bruce Irvin. Down goes Andrew Luck. Well, Bruce Irvin missed the first 4 games of the year, suspended for taking an illegal substance, and he comes back with a big play in his first sack of the year.
They said he was in shape and ready to play. This is pure mano-y-mano. They've got their tight end, fullback, Jones blocking him, Dominique Jones, and that's a mismatch. And Bruce Irvin, who had 8 sacks as a rookie, back in form right away off the suspended list.
Everyone killed Seattle for taking Bruce Irvin with the 15th overall pick last year. How could you do it? Well, they did it. You know what? He sacks the quarterback half the time he's on the field. 8 last year, as you mentioned, John. That's his first of the year. Now 3rd and 22. Clemens may have jumped offside. Flag comes out. Luck going deep for Hilton again. He gets shoved to the ground. There's a flag there. That's going to be pass interference. Brandon Browner on the shove. That ball's going to come up to the 45-yard line. How about the smarts of Luck taking the shot knowing that Clemens jumped?
Well, absolutely, and it starts before that. It's the hard count again on a 3rd and 22 situation. You take advantage.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside. Defense number 91. That penalty declined. Pass interference. Defense number 39. Ball replaced with the spot of the foul. First down.
It's just smart veteran football. Watch the hard count by Andrew Luck. Not only the voice inflection, but the body. He leans into it. It gets the Seattle defense. Now he knows I can take a shot. I got a free shot. Throws it downfield. Brandon Browner extends that right arm. Good call by the official. Smart football by Andrew Luck. Not smart football by the Seattle defense.
38-yard penalty. And that puts Indianapolis at their own 46. Little reverse. Reggie Wayne make it a double. Darius Hayward-Bay gets a block. Is that Andrew Luck down there getting his shoulder into somebody?
I tell you, one of the things you can't appreciate watching him on television is how big this guy is. He's 6'4", 240. Speaking of Andrew Luck, you look at, he's going to line him up. Good hitting position. Looks like a linebacker, and he takes on a linebacker in Bobby Wagner.
You want to know what's incredible about that shot? Luck's, the quarterback, is bigger than their middle linebacker, Bobby Wagner. That'll give you an idea. You don't really appreciate it. I don't know if it's a uniform or what.
190!
On a 2nd down. Clemens coming on the pressure. Luck unloads, looking for Kobe Fleener, his tight end. He should have a first down for Indianapolis. Meanwhile, Joel Klatt joins us with a game break.
All right, thank you, Kevin. And we go to Chicago, where Jay Cutler finds Alshon Jeffrey. 3-yard touchdown. Bears finally on the board. Saints have dominated up to then. It's 13-7 Saints. Kevin?
Rob Ryan's defense is the story of the year in the NFL for me. I mean, this Saints team gave up historic numbers on D last year, and they're allowing less than 14 points a game this year, 5th in the league. What a turnaround. So they finally let the Bears score here. Love the numbers on the day.
Love the stat line, the 1 block.
Fantastic. Here's Richardson, and he has not been able to do anything. So Richardson can't get it going. Well, Andrew Luck, we've seen the toughness. Aaron, I think you have a little more on that.
Yeah, you know, and talking to Chuck Pagano about Andrew Luck and this linebacker mentality, he said that's the way this guy is wired, but he has to understand, and he does, he can't play the game like a linebacker. We can't afford to lose him. We have too much at stake here. I mean, this goes all the way back to Stanford, guys. I used to watch number 12 throw some of these blocks out there, and you'd see the head coach go,
Aaron, can you repeat that noise one more time? That was pretty good. 2nd down for Luck. Pump fake and incomplete. Looking for Reggie Wayne. And Wayne was covered that time by Walter Thurman, Seattle's nickelback. Not the band, just the 3rd cornerback. You know what I meant, John.
I got you. You see, Luck had already pumped, and you see that left arm, the grab and hook. I think the Indianapolis Colts that are fans that are moaning have a good point there. Thurman with a little too much contact, but the referees let that one go.
Indianapolis 1 of 4 on 3rd down so far today. This is the 3rd and 9. Pressure. Luck. Oh, what a play. The spin, and he finds Hilton for a first down. Now that was sweet.
You know, these are two quarterbacks doling it out, and it's almost as if Andrew Luck says, okay, Russell Wilson, anything you do, I can do better. Spins out, sets his feet. You cannot play the quarterback position any better. That is big-time football. The Elway spin, sets his feet, throws it like a John Elway throw, a dart to T.Y. Hilton. Good stuff.
We're going to hit the 2-minute warning in Indianapolis. What an entertaining first half. Seahawks up 5 with the Colts on the move. We come back. We open the show talking about these terrific sophomore quarterbacks, and you look at those numbers so close. Luck has done well rushing the ball this year. Hasn't done it today, but maybe the numbers don't blow you away, but when you just watch the play, it does.
Yeah, watch the game, and you know those numbers aren't great numbers by any stretch. Under 50% for Wilson, but watching these guys play, big-time football players, bright futures ahead of them.
Here's Richardson, and he is just nowhere to go right now. As we've got 1:53 to go in the half, plenty of time for the Colts, who are down by 5, and each team with 3 timeouts. Just to let you know, but John Richardson, 5 carries for 2 yards. That's his 6th on the day, and he's not going to get anything there.
Give some credit to the big man we just saw running off, Red Bryant. Again, a 330-pound defensive end. Tough to move him. Brandon Mebane, a very unheralded player for these guys, but right at the center of what they do as a defense.
2nd and 10. Flag comes down. Luck's going to run it here for the first time, but I think Chris Clemens is held. Luck will have the first down, but I really think this is coming back. Clemens got dragged down on that play. The 13-yard run if it holds.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
It's Anthony Costanzo. He's got a tough job description today. It's go ahead, block Chris Clemens, Bruce Irvin, and a good call by Ron Winter. All over it. Seattle Seahawks just come at you in waves with pass rushers. You see the big boys, you see the fast guys coming off the edge. Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, Chris Clemens, Bruce Irvin, they keep coming at you.
1:16 to go in the half. Donald Brown in the game, and he gets the ball. Brown up the middle, good seam, and the shoulder. Donald Brown with a nice run, and he gets down inside the 23-yard line. It's a 17-yard run before K.J. Wright.
Timeout.
Indianapolis, that's their first timeout. So they've got plenty of time. Their first timeout on the move, looking to take the lead. Down by 5 to Seattle. Really had a little bit of everything in this game. Seattle, the offense is settling in. They come off a 12-play touchdown drive. This now the 10th play of the drive for Indianapolis. 3rd and 4, 1:08 to go in the half. 2 timeouts for the Colts. It's about a 41-yard field goal right now if they don't get any yards. So Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator. Luck's got a lot of time. He's going to go for the end zone. Richard Sherman says, Sherman was on Darius Hayward Bay, but that one didn't have a shot.
And Andrew Luck, he ought to know better than to test his old receiver at Stanford, Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman just blanketing wide receivers. No space. He envelops them. There's nobody better at the press technique in football right now. Looking for a back shoulder fade, but not against that guy.
So Adam Vinatieri will come on and attempt a 41-yard field goal. 7 of 9 on the year, but he's hit everything inside of 50 yards. McAfee on the hole. And that one is right down the middle. And so the field goal by Vinatieri gets the Colts a little bit closer. Halftime is a minute away. For a preview of that, we go to Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, the Chiefs and Patriots look to stay perfect, and the Jaguars try to get 1 in the win column. That and more when Jimmy Johnson, Michael Strahan, Howie Long, and Terry Bradshaw join me at halftime on the Visa Halftime Report. That's stiff even for Howie, isn't it?
I could see that, passing for Howie. I mean, Howie is one big dude.
Well, he just had the flat top working. Speaking of Howie made a great point on the pregame today, talking about how this Colts team is a reflection of Chuck Pagano. You saw how they started. What is Chuck Pagano? He's a fighter. He's embodied that, and that's what this team has done. They've fought, and they're right back in this game. And they're taking, so often, teams take on the personality of their head coach, their leaders. Andrew Luck, Chuck Pagano. Those are the leaders, along with guys like Reggie Wayne and Robert Mathis for the Indianapolis Colts.
Andrew Luck leads his team on an 11-play drive to get within 2 with 58 seconds to go. But Seattle has all 3 timeouts here. They've got plenty of time. And Curse will take a knee, and they'll start on their own 20-yard line. Coming up next Saturday, the American League's best teams will look to their brightest stars. The next unforgettable play, who will make it? It'll lead them to the ALCS and move them one step closer to the World Series. Legends are born in October, and they're born on Fox. Coverage begins the postseason next Saturday at 7:30. Game 1 of the ALCS. We've got some storylines, too. Oakland gets a walk-off win last night in a terrific game that went down the wire. So that series is all tied at 1 going back to Detroit. Big Papi with a couple home runs, and Boston leads Tampa 2-0. David Price not happy about his performance or Big Papi, but that's where the series stands. We've got all of it for you here. 58 seconds in the half. Seattle ball up by 2 and all 3 timeouts. And they'll get it to Golden Tate. Breaks the tackle. Golden Tate across the 40, still going. And Golden Tate all the way out across the 47 for Jarrell Freeman. Stopped him. Marshawn Lynch didn't have his helmet. I'm not sure what happened there. 27-yard gain. And Seattle calls their first timeout.
Golden Tate, that's what this guy does. He's strong in the lower half. Reminds me a lot of Hines Ward, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, played at such a high level. You can't arm tackle him. You've got to bring it when you tackle him. So good after the catch. You watch the Seattle Seahawks, and you see how proficient they are. They got Percy Harvin coming back at some point.
Imagine that.
This team is loaded. Pete Carroll, John Schneider, their GM, have done a tremendous job building this roster.
Marshawn Lynch, I don't think he thought he was necessarily going to be used. You know, whether they're going to go 5 wide or the half is going to route up. But they got 2 timeouts, 48 seconds left, and a guy who's perfect kicking field goals on the year. Read option. Wilson. Big room. He's got a first down. He'll slide down. Will they take their next timeout? Not yet.
This read option has been so key. All he's doing is look at the defensive end. We saw him earlier stay up the field. He gives it. Now he crashes down. He keeps it. Simple read.
Wilson keeping it. Firing on the deep out, and he's got it to Baldwin. A lot of time for Baldwin, but we have a flag near the line of scrimmage.
The Nails will man downfield. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. Big first down.
It's on J.R. Sweezy, who is the only regular starter on that line who's playing today.
Costly penalty right there, but what a job this offensive line. This does not look like an offensive line that's missing 2 All-Pros and both starting tackles. You see Sweezy, he's thinking it's a run play. He's downfield. A costly error as they had big yardage to Baldwin.
Hauschka is almost automatic inside 50 yards. Outside of 50, it gets a little bit more dicey. So you figure the Seahawks would like to get at least to about the 32, which is where the first down marker is. Pressure again. Wilson airing it out. He's got a man. It's Tate. Just missed. Oh, Golden Tate broke free of Greg Toller, and Wilson just overthrows it.
One of the things that the Colts were preaching to their defensive backs, you heard it in practice the other day, was plaster, plaster. That means when the quarterback scrambles, you got to stick on your receiver because the play stays alive. Not a good plaster right there by Greg Toller. He gets away with it.
Seattle's got 18 seconds left and 2 timeouts on a 2nd and 15. They at least have to get it to the 35 for Hauschka to give it a shot. And they'll sling it to Baldwin, who goes out of bounds at the 41. And now you're in a least decent position, John, to throw, you know, a 6-yard out, or you have 2 timeouts. You don't have to do that and get, if not the first down, a legit field goal try.
And what this drive, you see the career long at Houston, 54 yards, but what this drive really embodies is the trust that Pete Carroll, that man, has in his quarterback in this 2nd year. But I'm going to put it in your hands, trust you to make good decisions, and Russell Wilson keeps earning that trust that Pete Carroll is giving because he understands this guy's a great football player who makes smart decisions.
Seahawks can go over the middle if they want. They've got 2 timeouts. And this play is not going to happen. That's because Indy wants to talk it over.
Timeout. Indianapolis.
The Colts will take their second timeout. I mean, how important are these yards to Stephen Hauschka? Let me give you an idea. I said outside of 50, not as great for him. Inside of 50, John, since the Seahawks signed him off of waivers from the Broncos in 2011, he's 54 of 57 inside of 50 yards. I mean, that you can't get better than that.
Absolutely. That's solid. That's money. And you see after 50 yards, 40%. And I tell you, though, these kickers that come from Seattle, they love it when they're in an inside dome. They're used to rain in Seattle. This is heaven for him.
Saw the number 2, 4 of 10, 50 and out. Reminder of Fox tomorrow, everyone losing their heads over the new hit series Sleepy Hollow. See why Rolling Stone says it's the most fun you'll have with a new TV show this fall. All new Sleepy Hollow tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on Fox. 2 timeouts, 15 seconds to go in the half. Wilson's got a gear to throw the ball, and he throws that one to no one. That one may have get tipped at the line.
It's Lawrence Guy. He's the same guy who blocked the punt. Another unheralded guy, Lawrence Guy. He blocks the field goal early and now tips it right here on Russell Wilson. Believe it or not, Kevin, that's his first tip by a defensive lineman of Russell Wilson all season. A guy who's, everyone talks about his stature, how diminutive he is. The guy finds a way to get it done.
Well, this is an intriguing call. Seattle calls timeouts. They've got 1 timeout left, right? 10 seconds left. So reality, you got time for a play before you try a field goal. But it's 4th down, so you need to get to the 32. We told you about Hauschka outside 50. I mean, this is like a 59-yard field goal. I don't know that he's got the leg for this. So it looks like they're going to, try to get the first down here on this 4th and 9.
Yeah, and you've got the time, you've got the timeouts, you've got one in your pocket. So I think that's what you do. You don't have to get out of bounds. You get the first down, quick timeout. You can do that in 10 seconds.
Don't forget the Visa halftime show coming up. Kurt Menefee and the fellas will take you around the league. A couple of teams looking to stay unbeaten, just like these Seahawks are at 4-0, with a 4th and 9 coming up with 10 seconds left. So to have a field goal shot, John, they've got to get to the 32-yard line. But they have a timeout, so they can go anywhere they want here.
And really, that's what you do when you're the Seattle Seahawks. You say, Russell, go make a play. It may be a throw. He may scramble, use his legs.
Four-man rush. Pressure. Wilson is stripped, and it's picked up by Indianapolis. He's got to get down here, and he's down with, does the clock run out at 0, and that will do it for the half. Marshawn Lynch on the tackle, and a big tackle too after the strip sack. It was Robert Mathis who got it. Great first half here in Indianapolis with the Seahawks up 19-17. We now go to Kurt Menefee in LA for the Visa halftime show, which starts right now. Seahawks lead the Colts as we get set to start the 3rd quarter. What an entertaining first half as I stand next to John Lynch. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Reminder, you can watch every NFL game on iTunes. Full games, highlights, and more. iTunes.com/NFL. John, what a bizarre start to this game. We had blocked field goals. We had blocked punts. But I feel like it's kind of settled in and the offenses are kind of stabilized a little bit.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing, you think the away team, the Seahawks, are the ones that may have to weather the storm early. It was the Colts, and kudos to them because they did behind Andrew Luck. They stabilized it. They're playing good ball now.
And the Seahawks will get the ball, though, after winning the coin toss and deferring. We talked about these quarterbacks, these great young second-year quarterbacks early on. They both have played well as the kick goes out of bounds, and Seattle will take over on their own 20. So Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson have not disappointed today. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. And you look at it, pure numbers. They aren't lighting up the stat sheet. But again, you watch them, and they're both outstanding players, and they're showing it here today. Their talent is on full display. And it's going to be fun to watch these guys duel it out right to the finish.
Marshawn Lynch in the eye. He's had a good first half and a good start to this half. Lynch breaking away. And he's out up to the 37, 38-yard line. This offensive line that came in so banged up has opened up some holes in the run game.
Absolutely. You see Sweezy and Bowie running right behind him, but then it's Marshawn Lynch. Cannot arm tackle this guy. You got to put a body on a body and then bring a bunch of bodies, because arm tackles will not do the trick. 51 yards after contact, over half his yards after contact once again today.
That was an 18-yard gain, 94 yards in the day. He hasn't had a 100-yard game this year. His high game is 98 yards twice, so he's almost there. Fake to Lynch here, and Wilson has a wide open Doug Baldwin racing into Indianapolis territory, out of bounds around the 35, and the Seattle offense is off and running with two great plays here to start the third quarter.
You see, we saw a lot of read option today. You go off the read option fake. Doug Baldwin, obviously a coverage bust right there, wide open, but that's the pressure. Russell Wilson, he breaks the perimeter. Everyone's thinking run, run, run. He's also a very proficient passer.
Two plays, and Seattle has it at the Indianapolis 35. Robert Turbin in at tailback. Wilson's got all kinds of time balls. Tipped! Nearly intercepted on that one. Cavell Connor had his hands on it, couldn't make the pick.
It was Robert Mathis who gets his hand on that ball. He's engaged with 82, gets the hand up. Robert Mathis, a tremendous football player, had his 100th sack at the end of the half there on the strip fumble of Russell Wilson. Robert Mathis, we asked him about that 100th sack. He said, it means something to me, but the win will mean more.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to mention that because that half ended on such a crazy play. Second and 10. Here's Lynch. Runs into a sea of Indianapolis Colts. Let's head to the field, check in with Eric.
Kevin, I talked to Chuck Pagano going into the half, and he said these big plays by Seattle's offense is really hurting this defense. He said they have been an absolute nightmare to tackle, and we have to stay the course. Pete Carroll saying, yeah, this offensive line is held pretty well. He thinks it's really Russell Wilson and how he's managed this Colts pass rush. That's helping him so much.
Aaron, to back up your point, Seattle 311 total yards. They're averaging 7.1 yards per play, so Pagano right on it. Here it's a 3rd and 9. Timeout on the field. Seahawks call their first timeout of the half, so already burning a timeout on the first drive of the third quarter. Big third down coming up. Seahawks up by 2.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the new 2014 Dodge Durango. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
Well, you certainly get the sense this game is coming down to the wire, even though it's the first drive of the third quarter. And Seattle using a timeout early. Remember that late in this game, they could come back to bite them. Great point. Seahawks, ironically, they're tearing it up with 311 yards, but they're 0 for 5 on third down today. Blitz is picked up. Wilson can't find it. He's going to take off, and he's going to get another first. How many times today has Russell Wilson run for big yardage?
And I can't tell you how frustrating this is as a defensive player. You're doing everything right. You cover everybody down the field. It's just that lane integrity, and frankly, if he's got that much time, if he's going to move that well in the pocket, it's just really tough to deal with. And that's why he presents. That's why Chuck Pagano calls him a nightmare. Robert Mathis calls him a problem. They understand the difficulties dealing with a guy like Russell Wilson.
Aaron was just talking about the big plays. 6 runs of 10 yards or more, 3 passes of 20 yards or more from Seattle. Lynch. And Lynch runs into a brick wall. He's going to get a short gain on first down. I think
even right there, he doesn't go to the ground though. You know, big time hit by Jarrell Freeman. But at the end of the play, Marshawn Lynch is still standing.
Boy, Kerry Redding is upset, I guess, on that third down still lingering from him.
Those big men don't like that because you get tired that way. You get huffing and puffing chasing a guy like Russell Wilson, and he moves the chains. That hurts.
What a great shot by our crew, huh? Showing the emotion of the game. 2nd and 8. Wilson again, all kinds of time going for Baldwin. Overthrown, incomplete. Incomplete, that is. Vontae Davis on the coverage.
Now, one thing right here, you're thinking, all right, just don't rush. You see the coverage by Vontae Davis. Beautiful coverage, got his hands on him. Long foul ball for the Seattle Seahawks, but Chuck Pagano says, we can't chill these guys out and make them so aware of Russell Wilson that no one's rushing. We got to rush. We just got to be smart in the way we rush.
Opening drive of the third quarter. This is the 8th play of the drive for Seattle. Pressure coming. Wilson lets it fly. Incomplete. He was looking for Sidney Rice, but again, a little overthrown. And Seattle will settle for a field goal try from Hauschka.
That's a matchup that Russell Wilson likes. They have a tendency to put Sidney Rice in the inside slot down in the red zone, knowing they can get him in advantageous matchups. He's working against Toller here. Good coverage. Just a little bit of an overthrow. Great pressure by Eric Walden on that play, putting the Patton and Robert Mathis spin move on Michael Bowie, the right tackle.
36-yard try for Stephen Hauschka. And it is good. Now, the last one was blocked and returned. Not that one, as Seattle builds on their lead, up by 5 in the third. Seattle takes the opening drive of the third quarter and gets themselves a Stephen Hauschka field goal, up their lead to 22-17. 9 plays. Marshawn Lynch got it going. The big run on the first carry. And Marshawn Lynch is having himself a day. 97 yards on the ground. Seattle mauling Indy on the ground so far with 179 yards rushing. Lynch and Russell Wilson doing the damage. Well, you know, you take any advantage you can get at home, right? And Chuck Pagano knows that. He was urging his crowd to get into it this week. So what do you call this?
That's like in baseball, you know, the old, hey, batter, hey, batter. He's going, hey, Hauschka, hey, Hauschka. Trying to get his attention.
That is awesome.
That's a good man, too, right there. We all know his story and what a fighter he is. But regardless of that, just a quality man. Talks about relationships. His father was a great high school coach in Boulder, Colorado. His mentor in coaching. Tremendous opportunity to visit, and really enjoyed visiting with Coach Pagano this week.
He was great. I mean, he spent 40 minutes with us just talking ball, and you could see why the players respect him so much. Here's Richardson. Finally a big one for Trent Richardson, who has a Colts first down. He's out to the 41-yard line. It's a 21-yard rip. And boy, did he need that. Richardson needed a big run.
Yeah, he did. And see that right between Costanzo and Hugh Thornton. Hugh Thornton doing a great job getting up to the second level. Big hole. Trent Richardson, boy, did he need that. Pep Hamilton said, don't worry, we're throwing body blows with Trent. We're throwing body blows. Eventually, he's going to break out. And Trent Richardson says, finally, with the big smile.
Yeah, I misspoke. I said 21-yard run. It was a 16-yard run, looking at the wrong yard line there. So Richardson happy on that one.
180!
And a first down for Indy. Luck will dump it off here. It's Robert Hughes. And Hughes is taken down by K.J. Wright on the play. Cam Chancellor as well. Joel Klatt has our latest game break.
All right, Kevin, and we take you to Tennessee. Kansas City had been dominating, but Ryan Fitzpatrick with a little shovel to Chris Johnson. And 49 yards later, Chris Johnson finds himself in the end zone, and fantasy owners all across the country rejoice. Chris Johnson scored his first touchdown. Kevin.
You take it any way you can get it, Joel, that's for sure. Kansas City trying to go to 5-0. 2nd and 4 for Luck. Clemens coming, gets his hand on the ball. Is it loose? Seattle says they've got it. They do. Strip sack for Chris Clemens, and the Seahawks take over.
You see Clemens, as a defender, when you get close to the quarterback, go after the ball. He catches out Andrew Luck's helmet first, but on the way down, gets the ball. Surprised not a personal foul there. Usually a forcible blow to the head would be a personal foul, but Clemens gets away with it, strips the ball. Seahawks ball.
You can't look at that one, though, if you're Coach Chuck Pagano. Clinton McDonald comes up with the fumble recovery. Chris Clemens has given Anthony Costanzo some trouble today.
Remember, blow to the head like that, not reviewable. They talk about, is it a forcible blow? Looks forcible to me, but they don't see it as such, and as a consequence, Seattle's football.
And so Seattle with the turnover. Seattle coming in today was so good, forcing 13 turnovers, 2nd in the NFL. And there is a flag on the field. Or a towel, who knows?
12 men in the huddle. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Mays first down.
You see it all. I could give you some numbers, but there's such a bunch right there. We're just going to have to trust our man Ron Winter with his pink flag.
Seahawks up by 5. 9:42 to go in this 3rd quarter. The run game has been huge. Marshawn Lynch, 97 yards. Russell Wilson, 68 rushing. Wilson lets it go. And incomplete. He was looking for Golden Tate over there, but Delano Howell was there. Had some good coverage. Howell's already had himself a highlight play in this one with the big return.
Actually, Greg Toller on the coverage, and good coverage at that. Russell Wilson likes that matchup. Going to throw it up there, give his guy a chance, but just good football on both parts. Nice decision to give Golden Tate a throw, and good job by Greg Toller, the cornerback.
Good call, John. 28, not 26. And a 2nd and 15. Wilson in trouble, gets away from Freeman, and Russell Wilson continues to amaze. I mean, he had Jarrell Freeman in his face, anger out on the edge, but Russell Wilson somehow managed to gain on that play.
Well, Chuck Pagano talked about tough rushing. Right here, you got to stay outside. That's not smart rushing. You got a blitzer coming from the middle. You know he's going to get flushed, go to the outside leg, and he is not going to get outside you. The Colts are not rushing smart, and they're paying for it. Russell Wilson's making them pay with his legs.
Third and 9. Pressure again. Wilson's going to take it again, and this time he's tripped up shy of the first down. Eric Walden came in to trip him up, but Seattle will attempt another Stephen Hauschka field goal.
That's a tremendous hustle play. We asked about Eric Walden. Chuck Pagano called him a hard hat, lunch pail type guy, and that's lunch pail, hard hat type of effort by Eric Walden, rushing and then getting all the way downfield, tracking down Russell Wilson before the first down.
Hauschka has 2 field goals today, a 42-yarder and a 36-yarder, this from 41 yards out. And it's perfect. So 3 field goals from Stephen Hauschka, but the Colts defense does their job after the turnover. Seattle settles for 3, but they up their lead just a little more, 25-17 in the 3rd. Third Stephen Hauschka field goal of the game. Seattle extends their lead 25-17, still a 1-possession game. Chris Clemens, that man, made it happen with the strip sack of Andrew Luck, and Russell Wilson has this Colts defense breathing heavy here. I mean, it's a team that came in, their defense was playing great, and they are running all over Indianapolis here tonight. Hauschka gets it to Reed, and after taking the first two out from 109 yards deep, has settled in. Russell Wilson, and this offense is clicking. 191 rush yards, and you see it's taking a toll on this Colts D. Whew. Get your breath, Colts. Down by 8. Colts football, 1st and 10 on their own 20, trailing by 8 midway through this third quarter in Indy as they give to Richardson for a short gain on 1st down. Michael Bennett's on the stop. Never be without football. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL and download it right now. As Russell Wilson and this offense has been moving. And speaking of moving, Colts upping the tempo here. No huddle for Andrew Luck. Luck going far side. There's Reggie Wayne. And right around that 1st down marker, he should have it. Brandon Browner on the coverage.
We asked Andrew Luck about these Seattle corners, the Legion of Boom, Brandon Browner and Richard Sherman. He said, look, we've got a healthy respect. But let me tell you, Reggie Wayne, he's been beating one-on-one coverage for 13 years. And that's exactly what he does right there.
8-yard gain and a 1st down.
10 lines, 50. Hurry, hurry.
Richardson will get out to the 35-yard line. Update. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kevin, you guys watching some quality quarterback play there in Indianapolis. How about this for a throw? Aaron Rodgers to James Jones, 83 yards down the sideline. That's a career long for James Jones. 16-3 Green Bay over Detroit.
Didn't break his stride.
Special. 50.
Luck with the great audio. Hurry, hurry. Just like Peyton Manning. And he's the new Colt quarterback.
That is something to be said. I mean, Andrew Luck came in here, brought this team to an 11-win team, got in the playoffs last year in his first year. It took over for Peyton Manning. I mean, you take over for an iconic quarterback and do that. I don't know what else says unflappable other than that as a key 3rd and 5 for Indy. 2 of 6 on 3rd. Luck has a man wide open. He's got a 1st down. It's the tight end, Kobe Fleener. And the Colts keep the drive alive.
Kevin, you just used the word unflappable. Watch Andrew Luck work the pocket, step up, step up. I think he's going to run, but he sees his old teammate from Stanford, the tight end, Cody Fleener, who catches it a couple times, but finally brings it in.
Continue with the up-tempo to Richardson. Shoulder down. He's got a 1st down for Indianapolis.
I like the adjustment by Pep Hamilton. Again, they had fallen in a little bit of a lull offensively. What do? You go to the quick tempo. You try to get this Seattle defense a little tired like your guys and give your guys a rest.
Seahawks only had 10 men on the last play, getting caught in this up-tempo here. Four-man rush. Luck going to dive forward down to about the 38-yard line. KJ Wright, the linebacker, came up and made the stop. 6-yard run.
And people see Andrew Luck, this big guy. We keep telling you what an athlete. Richard Sherman says to his teammates before this week, treat him like Cam Newton. Give him that respect as a runner. He's that size. He's got that much speed. It's the thing that goes unnoticed with Andrew Luck, his athleticism.
2nd and 4. Luck over the middle, in the air, and it falls to the ground. But anytime you see that against the Seattle defense, they seem to get their hands on the ball. Luckily for Indy, that one falls to the turf. They had a play last week, John, where the ball was tipped in the air 4 times, and Earl Thomas had a pick.
Well, here's the length again. You've got corners that are 6'4". So even though Brandon Browner gets hurt, he can recover because he's got arms that are so long, standing at 6'4". It's just so hard what these Seattle corners present. I think they got to get back to taking shots. They've taken one today. It's been very successful. They're going to cover you that tight, beat them up top.
On a third down, Luck hits the slant to Wayne. First down, Colts.
Well, there it is. He goes to his go-to guy in Reggie Wayne. Andrew Luck said he's been beaten one-on-one coverage for 13 years, and that's exactly what Reggie Wayne does to Richard Sherman right there. Great matchup of two great pros right there.
KJ Wright is on the turf for Seattle, sitting up, but looking at him for an injury. So they tend to Wright, and you see Luck. This up-tempo drive is working, and I think about Reggie Wayne. We were talking to Coach Chuck Pagano. I certainly forgot till Pagano brought it up, John. Reggie Wayne was a free agent when Peyton Manning left, and as Coach Pagano said, he was on his way out the door.
He was, and Pagano had a relationship with him from their days at University of Miami, and he knew that Reggie thought that a new start was probably a new town, a new start was probably best for him, and he said, Reggie, trust me on this one. Take a leap of faith and it will pay off. Reggie did take the leap of faith, and it did pay off. Reggie, I talked to him the other day, having an absolute blast playing with Andrew Luck and his head coach, Chuck Pagano.
A six-time Pro Bowler, 69 consecutive games with 3 catches or more, and the crowd was booing Wright, who walked off. They think he faked the injury. That's been going around the league this year with the hurry-up tempo. 1st and 10 for the Colts. Donald Brown in the game at tailback now. And that's Reggie Wayne in the slot to your left. Luck, he's going to take a shot, going for the end zone, and he's got it! Touchdown, T.Y. Hilton, his second of the game. And John, there's your shot.
Absolutely, they're going to challenge that much. You have no other decision but to go over the top, and Andrew Luck throwing it like that. Keep taking those shots. Once again, cannot throw the football any better than that on the dime by Andrew Luck. That's why he was the #1 pick in the draft, and that's why he led his team to the playoffs last year.
Colts are going to go for 2. They're down 8 before that score. And he says, yeah, we're going to go for 2 and try and tie this game up right now. First 2 touchdown catches of the year for T.Y. Hilton, his 9th of his career. He's got 115 yards receiving. That's his 7th 100-yard game. And now the Colts will try to tie it up with a 2-point conversion.
You know, and this brings into question, is this smart to go for it? Points on the board typically this early. Typically it's not to the 4th quarter that you go for 2, but Chuck Pagano says we're going for it.
Looking towards Reggie Wayne, not there, coming back far side, and that is not going to happen. Knocked in the air and then picked off by Walter Thurman, but we got a flag. A late flag, and maybe a shove on Hayward Bay. That one came in real late.
I think it might be an illegal touching on Hayward Bay. He might have gone out of bounds.
The receiver stepped out of bounds, came back in, was first to touch the ball. Illegal touching. Extra point is no good.
T.Y. Hilton having himself a day. 115 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. With the Colts failing the 2-point try, they trail it by 2 in the 3rd. Well, you see Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, those 2 young quarterbacks both playing well. T.Y. Hilton, his 2nd touchdown, but Colts elect to go for 2 and don't convert. So we keep in mind that for later. Seattle burned an early timeout. Keep that in mind later. But the Colts up-tempo offense really got him in a groove there, and Seattle will take over now. So the Colts were a little stale offensively. Their defense, as we showed, pretty winded, John. They changed it up with Pep Hamilton.
They went a little up-tempo. That got Andrew Luck back into that rhythm. We talked about the need to take those shots. If you're going to get up and challenge those receivers, you got to go up top just to back them off or score a touchdown. They did it, and this is setting up like an old 15-round heavyweight fight. Andrew Luck versus Russell Wilson. They keep trying to get the knockout, but the other one keeps coming back. And this is like Balboa versus Creed. I mean, I love it.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing that the Colts have got to do now is try to figure out a way to stop the run. Seattle has run for 191 yards on this Colt defense today. 1st and 10 at the 20. It's Lynch. And he's going to work his way to the 23. Marshawn Lynch, that should put him at 100 yards on the day. Let's check in with Aaron.
And Kevin, this Colts defense looks like they finally toweled off, dried off a little bit. We saw the shots of them drinking the Gatorade, taking the salt tablets, even taking back some oxygen. They really needed a rest over here on the sidelines. In fact, they were yelling to the Colts offense, run this defense hard, go up tempo.
Well, it worked, Aaron, that's for sure. Marshawn Lynch's 23rd career 100-yard game, 15 for 100 for him. Here's a fake, and they'll set it up to Wilson, the young tight end, who breaks a tackle. And he's got a first down. Luke Wilson, the rookie from Rice, 5th-round draft pick, and gives Seattle a first down.
That's a big play in this game. Delano Howell, right in the right position. He prides himself on being, it's where he gets his head. Get your head on the outside leg, you make that tackle. Gets his head on the inside leg. First of all, he drops the head. Always see what you hit. Puts his head on the wrong leverage point. Luke Wilson takes advantage of it.
Marshawn Lynch on a 1st and 10, and Corey Redding just messed that whole thing up. Lynch is going to lose a yard on that play.
I like that. Messed that whole thing up, because that's exactly what he did. Corey Redding, a guy that Chuck Pagano brought with him from the Baltimore Ravens, where Chuck Pagano was a coach. Very versatile player. Can play inside, can play outside. One of the established veteran leaders on this team.
Second and 11, blitz coming. And they'll dump it to Lynch, who catches with one hand and works his way to the 40. Cavell Connor on the stop, but a 6-yard gain as they drop it off to avoid the pressure.
I mean, can this guy play some football or what? I'm thinking incomplete pass all the way, and just a left hand grip it with his eyes downfield. That's a big-time play by Marshawn Lynch.
For all the pressure that Russell Wilson has faced today, the only sack he had was by Robert Mathis at the end of the half on a 4th down when he knew he had to make something happen and stood in there.
Here comes the crowd.
They need 5 yards. Mathis, Wilson unloads. He's got Baldwin, and he's got it. Doug Baldwin got free, and he's got a first down for Seattle, down to the Indianapolis 34-yard line. And John, this play, this 27-yard gain may have started before the game.
Over the choir who sang the anthem, Russell Wilson. Practice makes perfect. And Russell Wilson, the crowd gets loud. He says, crowd schmout.
And the choir serenading the perfect pass. That was at about 10 o'clock this morning. What a beauty. 1st and 10, Seattle. Wilson again getting out of pressure, and he's going to pick up something out of nothing. How did the choir not flinch on this, by the way?
You see the protection, him step up in the pocket, and look at the touch on that pass. We're seeing both quarterbacks put on a clinic on quarterbacking, both with their arms, with their legs, with their total command. In their second years, it's amazing the level these guys are playing at.
It's honestly beautiful to watch these two quarterbacks. It really is. 2nd and 10. That's Lynch in the eye. We got a quick hitter to Tate. And Golden Tate inside the 30. We have an update. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
And this is something we haven't seen from the Giants all year, a lead in the second half. This is the first time they've done that. Ruben Randall, 2nd touchdown reception of the game from Eli Manning. And they were on top. Up. Philadelphia just got a field goal. Literally. It's 22-21. Eagles now up in the 3rd quarter. We keep you up to date,
Thanks,
Kevin, John, and Aaron.
Vic out of that game with a hamstring injury, so Nick Foles is in. 3rd and 4 for Seattle.
Boy, is this big right here.
Lynch wasn't ready for it. Marshawn Lynch was headed upfield to be turned around. He had a first down.
Boy, they had the right play dialed up. Created some traffic for Marshawn Lynch. He sneaks out wide open. Russell Wilson wants to get to him now. Marshawn hadn't turned his head as of yet. And the Colts get lucky right there because he had space. And Marshawn Lynch knows that was an opportunity that they let go awry.
Hauschka had one blocked to return for a touchdown today, but he's hit the others, 3 of them to be exact. This is from 46. And he is true again. Stephen Hauschka, a 46-yard field goal. And the Seahawks up their lead once again to 5 points. Well, it's about much more than pink on the field, John. Together, the NFL and the American Cancer Society helping women across the country make a crucial catch. Here, the personal impact stories. Find out how you can help finish the fight against breast cancer at NFL.com/pink. It's a tremendous initiative by the league. We, of course, in that and trying to get the awareness out, have our first down line pink today. John, you see the penalty flags pink. It can be a little tricky at times. We've seen that today, but it's just a tremendous initiative to make people known about it so they can get checked.
Well, Kev, it's a great commitment from the league. I would just say let's keep the yellow flags. Everything else can be pink. Give the referees back their yellow flags. We'll even take the pink pom-poms.
I like the pink line, the pink pom guns, but my eye is not trained for the pink flag. You know? But Hauschka will kick it off. And Reed thinking about taking it out. He does. Right up the gut, breaks one tackle, and he's out to the 24-yard line. There's a flag. Yep. Pink flag, not a towel. Waiting for Ron Winter to sort it out for us.
During the return, holding number 54 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
There's what the quarterbacks have done today. Again, Luck has had 3 drops on him. Got off to a slow start, but both have been just so impressive. Russell Wilson using his legs, too. You see with 80 rushing yards.
And 1 block for Andrew Luck as well.
That's true.
But we keep talking about the boxing analogy, and Russell Wilson just threw another haymaker. We'll see how Andrew Luck responds.
28 seconds ago in this third quarter. KJ Wright, by the way, back in the game. Remember, he went out with an injury last time. Donald Brown gets the carry. And he's out to the 20. It's a gain of 6. Bruce Irvin on the stop. As that should take us to the end of quarter number 3 here in Indianapolis. The 2 young quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck, putting on a show, and you have a feeling it may come down to the final drive today. End of quarter number 3. It's the Seahawks in front, 28-23. NFL on Fox. Back after this. 28-23. Seahawks lead the Colts as we start this fourth quarter in Indy. It's been a fun game, John.
We got a great matchup, and these are 2 teams that are outstanding in the fourth quarter. You see the Seahawks and their disparity over their opponents in the fourth quarter. Indy is very much accomplished in the fourth quarter as well, only giving up 7 points on the season.
They've outscored their opponents 24-7. So the fourth has been big for each team as Donald Brown has a carry on second down. Out to the 25. Good for a first. Jordan Hill. And the Colts on the move now.
You know, Kevin, I've mentioned it a couple times, but you look at, we just saw the numbers, the quarterback comparisons. Numbers do not look great. But you watch the type of football. You don't have to throw for 400 yards to be having a great game. These guys are playing outstanding football. Who's going to outlast the other one?
First down for Luck. They set up a screen to Brown.
Oh, my goodness. That is fun to watch. I'm telling you, having played that position where Earl Thomas came from on this play and how quickly he closed, watch where he comes. Just sit back and watch these pretty pictures. He's standing pat, feet pat, and look at him read, recognize, and go get it. 0 yards on the gain. That is outstanding football by an emerging young superstar at the safety position.
Earl Thomas in his 4th year out of Texas. When I get a woo-hoo-hoo out of my 9-time Pro Bowl safety, I know it was a good play, John Lynch. 2nd and 10. Luck's got all kinds of time now, looking for a man. Hayward Bay has been blanketed all day by Brandon Browner. Incomplete.
I think blanketed is the perfect description, because all you look for as a quarterback is some separation. No separation. Little contact downfield, that's all right. That's the way these guys play. Chuck Pagano saying, give me the flag, give me the pink one.
Special.
Hayward Bay came in with 13 catches, doesn't have one today. Colts 4 of 8 on 3rd down this afternoon. Luck and Hilton fell down. And they're going to get a flag. Richard Sherman says, wait a second.
Pass interference. Defense number 25. Well, we place it in the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Look, I can't blame the official for calling it, but I'm telling you this, with the Seattle Seahawks, there's going to be contact on every play. That's the style they play. So does the official choose to call it or not? Right there, he chooses to call it. You see Richard Sherman all over T.Y. Hilton. Is that right arm there? Does he hook him a little bit? Yes. Richard Sherman doesn't like the call.
Michael Bennett, one of the pass rushers for Seattle, went off with a little bit of limp on that last play. He rotates in and out. 1st and 10 for Indianapolis. It's Fleener in motion. Draw to Richardson. That's not going to get it done. Seattle was all over that. Brandon Mebane with the hit. The Tennessee Titans surprising everyone, Kurt Menefee.
And the surprises continue with Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback for the injured Jake Locker for the next few weeks. They may not miss him too much after this. Fitzpatrick, 9-yard scramble, 17 unanswered for the Titans, and they lead it 17-13 over the Chiefs, who, of course, have lost all season. Kevin, John,
They've got to be the surprise team of the year. They're 3-1, and if they could upset Kansas City, 2nd and 11 for Luck. He finds Hilton again. T.Y. Hilton has an Indianapolis 1st down. He's been the go-to guy, 13-yard gain.
Well, Andrew Luck recognized on this coverage. The middle of the field is where the hole was. Finds T.Y. Hilton. Nice accurate throw and lets T.Y. do the rest.
$128 yards for T.Y. Hilton. And he has been the guy. 2nd-year man from Florida International. 3rd-round draft pick last year. He's their big play guy. Richardson. And Richardson's going to take it to the 45. Gain of 2 yards.
You see Pep Hamilton right there, and if you watch Stanford football, they love throwing the big boys in there and saying, okay, we know you're going to put a bunch of guys in there. Let's play in a phone booth and let's see who wins. And it only gains 2 yards. Not very sexy, but they feel, remember, he calls them body blows. We invest in body blows. Now let's see if the shot comes up top off the play action.
You've seen Pep Hamilton from Stanford. John Lynch is from Stanford. Andrew Luck is from Stanford. There's a lot of Stanford in this game, John.
There is.
A lot of Stanford in this game.
Fleener, Delano Hall, Doug Baldwin.
2nd down. And Luck in the flat. That was dangerous. KJ Wright, a pretty good look over there on Kobe Fleener.
There's Pep Hamilton, the Andrew Luck director of offense at Stanford University. That's what the offensive coordinator position. You know you played some pretty good football when they named the offensive coordinator position after you. Particularly when they had a guy like John Elway there. They could call him the John Elway director.
And that's the Stanford matchup. You know, at one point, Andrew Luck was throwing passes to Richard Sherman at Stanford. Those two were pretty fun talking about each other. Here's a key 3rd and 8. Blitz coming. Luck in trouble, steps away, gets hit as he throws. Right grab, T.Y. Hilton behind him, and he somehow hauled it in. 1st down, Colts.
You know, we're up here gushing about these quarterbacks all day. Let's gush a little about T.Y. Hilton, because that is a phenomenal catch by T.Y. Hilton. Luck recognizes the pressure, steps up, and then really throws an errant throw. And T.Y. Hilton, the concentration behind your body, the body control that takes. Big time play.
He has been tremendous, as Hilton, as Richardson on the carry. He just hasn't found much today at all. 12 carries, 35 yards before that one. So that'll be 13 carries for 36 yards. And, you know, John, this run game, Coach Pagano said to us yesterday, it's something that he's got to be patient with, but here's luck on the other play.
You see him climb the pocket, and again, arm tackles aren't going to get him down. People all over his feet. You see him hopping, eyes down the field. Both of these young quarterbacks do that tremendously well. Move in the pocket, eyes always downfield, locating receivers.
On a 2nd and 9. Luck's going to run it. And just gets tripped up. What a nice move, too, but Earl Thomas got enough to trip him up.
Good sportsmanship right there between the two great players, appreciating each other. But I'll tell you, I've watched Andrew Luck for a long time. Not many people tackle him one-on-one in open field. Earl Thomas, he does it right there.
The Colts have tried to keep this tempo up the last couple of drives. On a 3rd and 4, already in field goal range, but down by 5 with 10 minutes to play. And we get a flag.
Timeout, Seattle.
So Seattle takes another timeout. Here's some good sportsmanship. A couple of big-time players appreciating their efforts.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink Possible. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Bank of America.
Well, Kevin, here's why the Seahawks used that timeout. 12 on the field. You see it. 11-12. Pete Carroll smartly recognizes that there was a flag thrown. They got the timeout prior to the flag. And that's a good get by Ken Norton and Pete Carroll.
Problem is, Seattle has got one timeout left, and it's a tight game with 10 minutes and 1 second to go. It's a 3rd and 4 for Indianapolis. They've been real good here. 5 of 9 on 3rd today. Luck on the move. Reggie Wayne, first down, Indianapolis. Let's see. The mark is a little shy. I thought from here that Wayne had it, but they mark him shy. Let's look. Our line's unofficial, but let's see where he went out. Oh, they were right. Ooh. They were right. That's my fault. I thought that other foot got in. It wasn't in. So he is short, and now brings up an interesting call for Chuck Pagano.
Remember, you can challenge the spot, so Chuck Pagano can challenge that. And we'll see if he does.
Let's see. See where the ball is here. That's the last foot in bounds right there.
I think it's a first down.
You know,
I really do.
I
think it's a first down. I think it would be a wise challenge.
On second look, I think my first instinct was right. When you look where that ball is here, let's see. That's the last foot ball. Oh,
still
yeah,
in
John.
the air.
I agree. I mean, our line, again, is unofficial, but we're usually pretty close. And I think if you're Chuck Pagano, you have all 3 timeouts. This is a huge play.
So we got pink flags, but let's see if he throws the red flag, and there it is.
That had much more distance than our Andy Reid throw last week.
Chuck Pagano showing off that right arm.
Challenge, which will be an immense call. Is Reggie Wayne having enough for the first? We think so. Seattle by 5 here in the 4th. Did Reggie Wayne do enough to get this first down? That's what is being reviewed right now. And again, our line is unofficial, but it's usually pretty close. And I think, John, you and I agree that I think it's a first down.
It's where it crosses the sideline. That's a first down all day long to me. Almost to the 22-yard line. The line to gain's the 23 right there, and I think he gets to about the 22 and a half.
Key is his left shoulder with the ball was leading that play. It was out in front of him when he went out of bounds, and I think that will be the difference. And if he doesn't get this, Well, then you're looking at just shorts at about the 23 and setting up for 41-yard field goal. Still conferring by Ron Winter. I would have to think with a long discussion they're going to talk about right now exactly where to put the ball. This would seem like a good thing for Chuck Pagano.
Absolutely.
Here's Ron Winter.
After review, with the ball in his possession, the runner went out of bounds at the 22.5-yard line. Therefore, it is a first down. Indianapolis is not charged with a timeout. The game clock will start on the ready for play.
Well, it's obviously huge. I mean, Chuck Pagano needed that down by 5, and now you've got a first down.
Well, it's a really good challenge. I think even a better play call. You got the two corners just mauling people outside. You line Reggie Wayne in the slot. You put him up against Seattle's third corner and Walter Thurman. You allow Andrew to get out of the pocket. Beautiful play call by Pep Hamilton.
T.Y. Hilton has been Andrew Luck's guy today. 5 catches, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's the first guy in the slot to Luck's right on a 1st and 10. Luck looking, he's got a wide open Reggie Wayne, and he falls down at about the 3. 1st and goal, Indianapolis.
I want you to watch this. Andrew Luck is going to fake the bubble screen to T.Y. Hilton. There goes the Seattle defenders. Watch them, and they run right by him. Great deception, although two guys aren't supposed to be standing in the same area. But Reggie Wayne says, that's my ball. Darius Hayward-Bay. Another big play for Indianapolis.
It's a 1st and goal as the Colts looking to take the lead. 14th play of this drive. Donald Brown in at running back. It's Brown. Touchdown, Indianapolis, and they're in front.
There's the answer by Andrew Luck, and Chuck Pagano says, stay out there. We need you out there for the 2-point. Make this a 3-point field goal game. We'll see what Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, dials up this time. Last time Seattle was all over it.
This is an enormous conversion. They went for 2 on their last touchdown and failed. Otherwise, they could just kick the extra point and be up a field goal here. So this is big for Pep Hamilton. They looked for Hayward-Bay the last time. What do they call here? Going for a 3-point lead.
Really is big because Hauschka, he's been right down the middle all day long. He looks pretty comfortable today.
And a timeout by Seattle. Wow. It's their last time out of the game. Oh my goodness. On a 2-point conversion, you burn the timeout. You can't have it.
Well, one thing that Pep Hamilton does, you see the heavy personnel in there. I think Seattle was expecting a 3-wide receiver set. Earl Thomas is the one who called the timeout. He didn't think they had the right personnel. But the last timeout, that's costly. But I tell you, these points are even more costly. Confusion. They bring that heavy personnel. They got the wrong personnel on the field. It's 55 Farwell, actually, that calls the timeout. And if you don't have the right personnel, probably the right play. The problem is you wasted those 2 previous timeouts.
Aaron, what's going on down there?
It happened right in front of me. They couldn't get the right guys. Some of the guys were clearly over on the bench, and they were screaming for them to get out on the field. One of them ran out, and they were trying to get more out there. Absolute chaos.
Wow. So Seattle is done with timeouts. Now the all-important 2-point conversion, make it a 3-point lead for Indy.
Let it roll. Ready!
Luck looking, firing. Oh, and he's got it. Andrew Luck, so patient. Reggie Wayne, and they're up by 3. This is fun, huh, John?
This is a heavyweight fight between Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson. And it's Luck with the right to the job.
What a game. Colts up 3 in the 4th.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Prep for game day by ordering online from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
What a game in Indianapolis. The Colts on a 14-play drive, the touchdown from Donald Brown on the 3-yard run, and then Reggie Wayne converting the 2-point conversion. The Colts were 3 of 3 on third. 2 of them were third and long. This has lived up to the building.
Oh, absolutely. Enormous 2-point conversion, too. Makes it a 3-point game. This is great theater right here, watching these two young men and these two teams battle it out.
McAfee's kickoff. Curse at the back line, and Seattle takes over. Just the patience, John, on this play.
Yeah, you look at this 2-point conversion. Seattle's all over it. It's actually the same play Houston ran last week that Richard Sherman picked. But in the back of your end zone, you see Reggie Wayne. We're going to show you an ISO. And here is a veteran player staying alive for his quarterback. Brandon Browner all over him. He says, "You're going to grab me? Get off me." And what a throw by Andrew Luck. Reggie Wayne throwing to the right guy, the 13-year veteran. Great football.
And now it's Russell Wilson's turn. And Lynch is stymied after a short gain on first down. Now, John, the other thing about this Colts team, monster drives for their touchdowns in this half. 14-yard drive and a 10-yard drive. They have been the best in the league at that this year. Coming into today, they had 12 10-play or more drives.
The challenge for the Seahawks, Kevin, remember how much energy they had to expend in an overtime victory against Houston last week. How much do they have left in the tank? And can they do it? Now the crowd's involved. We'll see if Russell Wilson takes over once again.
On a 2nd and 8. Wilson's going to find Tate, and a nice tackle by Freeman from behind. Let's get a game break with Joel Klatt.
All right, thank you, Kevin. And we go to Cincinnati in the driving rain. Tom Brady trying to come back late. Picked off by Pac-Man Jones, and his streak of consecutive games with a touchdown pass ends at 52. Too short of the record, 54. Kevin.
I'm not sure how to finger the Bengals. They beat the Packers at home, go lose to the Browns, and then a huge upset over New England.
You talk about huge. This 3rd down right here.
Freeman makes a great tackle. The 2nd-year man, free agent, has had a big game, and he makes a big-time tackle, his 12th of the day.
You want to talk about big time. Look at this, but look at this, too. They bring the free safety out of the middle. Russell Wilson gets by him. He's out the door. What a play by Jarrell Freeman. This is a guy who played in Saskatchewan for 3 years before Ryan Grigson, the GM of the Indianapolis Colts, went and found him. Now he's a big-time player for a pretty darn good defense here in Indianapolis.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders. That was a heck of a tackle. Here's Hilton. Fair catch. Colts will take over at about their own 27. Indy's defense coming up big. It's the Colts 31, Seahawks 28, 6.5 to go. Great looking tackle from Jarrell Freeman to stop Russell Wilson on a 3rd and short. Colts get the ball back. Fox tonight, the scariest set of the year comes early to animation domination. The all-new Halloween episodes, including The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Always terrific. All new tonight starting at 7/6 Central on Fox. But first, we've got 6:38 to go in Indianapolis. What has been an outstanding game between the 4-0 Seahawks and the 3-1 Colts.
And two guys, believe me, folks, if you haven't been watching, those numbers don't do it justice. These guys have played tremendous football, almost identical numbers by guys that I started the game by saying how similar they are. And they are going back and forth, and we'll see. It's Andrew Luck's turn now.
24 plays, 2 touchdowns on the last 2 drives for Indy. Since they upped the tempo, it's been a difference maker. Richardson. And he works his way across the 30 to about the 31. He's going to pick up 4. Cam Chancellor, Brandon Mebane on the stop. I go back to Pep Hamilton at our meeting with him the other day. And what did he say? We want to finish the game running the ball.
Yeah, they do. You're going to have to do some running. You're going to have to do some throwing, and trust that guy right there, Andrew Luck, as well. One thing that's critical, Kevin, you know Pete Carroll's #1 philosophy, it's all about the ball. These guys are ball hawks. They're going to be ripping at every ball. You want to score points, but protect that football if you're the Indianapolis Colts right now.
Second and 6. Blitz picked up, looking for Reggie Wayne. Oh, nifty. At midfield, first down for Indianapolis after a 19-yard hookup.
Well, Andrew Luck, we talk about his smarts. Smart man throwing to Reggie Wayne. Look at the vet move. Doesn't put his hands up till the absolute end. The concentration. He found the matchup he likes. Reggie Wayne on Walter Thurman. If I were the Seahawks, I'd move one of those other two, Richard Sherman, Brandon Brown, are inside to cover Reggie Wayne because he's eating Thurman alive right now.
Wayne has come alive in the second half after a couple of early drops. 1st and 10, under 5.5 to go in the game. Richardson puts his shoulders down and meets Cam Chancellor. That's a heck of a meet and greet at the 45-yard line as Richardson picks up 4.5.
So many similarities between the two teams. We talked about the two quarterbacks. How about the two running backs? Very similar in style. Marshawn Lynch, Trent Richardson. These are guys that aren't going to go down easy. They're going to pound and work for every yard.
And the Colts, we talked about each team has really owned the fourth quarter this year. Time of possession has been huge, and you have to wonder after the 2 long trips if the Seattle D is tiring just a bit. 2nd and 5. Pump fake, and Hayward Bay drops it. 4th drop of the game for Indy.
Darius Hayward Bay, obviously his eyes down on that in Seattle defense prior to catching the football. Those are the little things that can win or lose you football games. You got to catch that ball. Big space for Hayward Bay if he does rein it in.
By the way, Andrew Luck pumping that. If he threw that, Bruce Irvin might have picked it off and run to the house. No catches for Hayward Bay today.
I'm Seattle. I'm doubling Reggie Wayne right about now.
6 of 10 on 3rd down. That's Wayne, who John circled. They're going to run it. Richardson breaks the tackles and has the first down. That's why Ryan Grigson pulled the trigger on the trade for the former 3rd overall pick.
Ryan Grigson said he was in St. Louis as a scout when they traded for one Marshall Faulk, a Hall of Famer. He saw what he did for their team when they got hurt. Vic Ballard hurt at the running back position, Ahmad Bradshaw down, and they had the opportunity to get Trent Richardson. He said, we got to go get it. This is the best first-round draft choice I'll ever had. He's making them look good right now.
Clock a huge factor. Seattle has no timeouts left. 3:47 to go in the game. They're going to ride Richardson here, who bursts up the middle. And he's going to get to the 32. Now Ryan Grigson, as Lynch waiting his turn, has really done a nice job, John. You know, in 2 years, they've overturned this roster. They've rebuilt on the fly. It just doesn't exist.
You know, Chuck Pagano talked about it. Ryan Grigson, they weren't allowed to use the word rebuild, but in all truth, that's what they were doing. They just rebuilt really well by going and getting one number 12, Andrew Luck, who has a history of putting at Stanford. He did it, overtook a bad team and made them national contenders. Here he made them a playoff contender, took them to the playoffs in his first year around a team that really wasn't ready to go to the playoffs.
Richardson again, and that time he's not going to go anywhere. Michael Bennett was in the backfield, and he's going to lose 3.
That's big because field goal position as well.
Adam Vinatieri, we know how reliable he is. Last couple of years, he's hit a 53-yarder. You know he's just about automatic inside of 50, but right now this is outside of 50. This is about a 53-yard field goal as it stands, and a 3rd and 9 is coming up. We've already seen the Patriots, one undefeated team, go down in Cincy. The Saints stayed undefeated with a win in Chicago. Seahawks 4-0. How will they fare?
There's the matchup once again that's been so good for Andrew Luck.
They're going to give to Donald Brown. Going to get down to the 31-yard line. It'll be a 4th down and a field goal try coming up as we are going to hit the 2-minute warning in Indianapolis. What a game here today. We've seen a little bit of everything as the Colts looking to spoil the Seahawks' unbeaten season. They're up by 3. Colts by 3 over the Seahawks. 2 minutes to play. Adam Vinatieri will attempt a 49-yard field goal. This would be a season-long, would put him up by 6. I'd like to welcome those of you who saw the Saints stay unbeaten with a win in Chicago. So the Packers beat the Lions along with John Lynch and Aaron Andrews. I'm Kevin Burkhardt in Indianapolis. It's been a terrific game. Seahawks at 4-0. Colts at 3-1. And here's Vinatieri. 49 yards away. And he's got it. Adam Vinatieri puts the Colts up by 6 with 1:55 to go. But Russell Wilson has plenty of time. However, no timeouts remaining for Seattle.
It's not a bad guy to have kicking this field goal. You're talking about one of the great clutch kickers in the history of this league in Adam Vinatieri.
This game's been fun. We've had a punt block return, a field goal return for a touchdown. Both Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck have been terrific. But the key, John, in this second half, late in the third quarter, Indianapolis went to an up-tempo, and Luck has put together 2 tremendous drives.
And it's really been about these guys going back and forth. Andrew Luck just delivered once again. What will Russell Wilson do? But here was the big 3rd down. This was a challenge by Chuck Pagano, overturned to the benefit of the Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck throws it down to Reggie Wayne. Donald Brown goes in. There's the 2-point conversion to make it a 3-point game. We just saw the kick from Vinatieri to make it 6. Now it goes over to Russell Wilson. What's he going to do?
Well, you certainly had the feeling it could come down to the last possession, and that is what it's going to come down to. McAfee kicks it off. And the Seahawks will start this possession on their own 20. Seattle has been terrific on the road. They've come back to win their last 2 road games. First, it was in Carolina week 1 with this terrific touchdown catch by Curse. They pulled that one out 12-7. And then last week against Houston, they were down by 2 scores late. Richard Sherman, 58-yard interception return to tie it. Stephen Hauschka, 45 yards out to win it in overtime. Everyone always talked about Seattle on the road. They're 5-1, their last 6 on the road, mainly because of that. Russell Wilson clutch, and it's on him now.
Second most in the league since he came in the league in 2012 to guess who? Andrew Luck.
Room to run, and Wilson's got the first down and then some, and he's across the 40-yard line. He has gashed Indianapolis with his running ability today.
And these just aren't little chunks. That's a big chunk of yards, 22 of them. And Russell Wilson, we saw him at Houston, take to his legs to win the game. He's been at it today, having run over 100 yards now on the day. This guy, he can beat you with his arm. He can also beat you with his legs.
It's a career high 102 yards rushing for Russell Wilson. On a 1st and 10. Wilson lets it go, incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Luke Wilson, the rookie.
Of course, Pete Carroll has no problem with them running in this situation, but Pete says, the advice I give him, take off every chance you get. He calls it the great neutralizer. You've seen what it's done to this Indy defensive line. They've been gassed throughout the game. They've got a little rest now. Can they deliver? They got to rush smart. Stay in your lanes. Stay and contain.
They fake the draw to Lynch. Wilson lets it fly for Rice. What a play! Darius Butler knocks it down.
Fantastic play by Darius Butler. He says, Legion and Boom, you're supposed to be pretty special. We're all right, too. He's got the right arm. He kind of uses that to propel him, but great length. Tremendous play by Darius Butler.
Russell Wilson told us yesterday that all he did in the offseason was watch cut-ups of situational football, of old games, minute 20 to go, 1 timeout. Wanted to see what those quarterbacks did. Now it's his turn.
It's where it's so tough. You think advantage Indy D, but the dual threat, he can beat you with his arm and with his legs.
2 of 11 on third are the Seahawks. Wilson out to the 45, and hold on, I don't think he got this off in time.
Delay game. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
And so Indianapolis bringing their own 12th man with the fans into this game.
See Russell Wilson, he doesn't know prior to that. He's clapping his hands, pleading for the ball. This crowd has become a factor. Chuck Pagano called him out, said we need to be the best 12th man in the league. Here they are.
Wilson has a connection to Tate, and it's incomplete. Toller was there, and now a 4th and 15 with the game on the line.
It's just really good finish by Toller. He comes low. Golden Tate can't hold on. Big time play by Greg Toller.
4th down. Seattle has no timeouts with 1:31 to go. They've got to get to the Indianapolis 48 to keep this game going. Wilson with pressure, looking for Rice. Intercepted! It's intercepted by Darius Butler, and that'll do it.
Boy, and I tell you, what a hit Russell Wilson took. I believe it was Jarrell Freeman, but Darius Butler, he made the big pass breakup. Now he catches it, but we're going to see Russell Wilson get absolutely clobbered by Jarrell Freeman as he throws that ball.
Andrew Luck will take a knee and run this game out. You know, and for the rightful talk about how great this Seattle secondary is, that was big-time stuff from this Indianapolis secondary.
Well, big-time stuff, and Chuck Pagano happy, and rightly so. They weathered the storm of the Seattle team. And I tell you, Seattle, the last 2 games, this is back to that last hit. Jarrell Freeman, after he throws it, puts an absolute crush on Russell Wilson. Darius Butler, this Indianapolis Colts big-time win. Seattle, hats off to them. 2 weeks in a row, play courageous games, and this team going to Houston, coming to Indy, challenge them. They'll grow from this experience nonetheless.
State Farm postgame show coming up. And right now, with the Chiefs beating Tennessee, it looks like the Colts at 4-1 will be in first place by themselves. Seattle about to suffer their first loss of the year. So much going on today around the National Football League. Oh, man.
A lot going on here. Andrew Luck's the only one realizes that they've got to run one more play.
I don't know if they're going to get to do that. What a win for the Colts. 34-28 over the Seahawks. They hand Seattle their first loss. We'll return to Indy to wrap it up in just a moment.